and goals in sight. With minds that think and hearts that strive, Batch Force 2025 has now arrived. With focus and fire, you will pave the way. The leaders of tomorrow starting today. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to the grand inauguration of the 21st batch of Global Institute of Integral Management Studies in Logistics and Supply Chain Management. It's with great excitement and pride that we launch our new brand batch, which we have named as Force 2025. Force is powerful, determined, and capable of creating impactful change. The year 2025 marks not just the beginning of a new academic journey, but also it symbolizes a forward-looking mindset. This inauguration is especially meaningful to us, especially at a time when GIIMS is celebrating its 10th year of decade of excellence. A decade dedicated to nurturing talent, fostering leadership, and setting benchmark in the field of logistics and supply chain management. To commemorate this decade of progress, dedication, and innovation, we invite you to join us in revisiting some of the key highlights from the GIIMS journey. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like your attention to be there on the screen because we're going to have a look at a small video which reflects the milestones of GIIMS. Can we please play the video? what you have just now witnessed is not just a timeline of events, but it's a testament to the vision, resilience, and the collective effort that have defined GIIMS over the past decade. To formally commence the day's proceedings, it's my honor to invite all the respected dignitaries onto the dais. Their presence today adds immense value and inspiration to this milestone moment. True leadership is not about holding a position of power, but creating pathways for others to grow, lead, and succeed. It is in this spirit of empowering leadership that we now invite Mr. S.S. Srijit, CEO of GIIMS, who has been elected as an Associate Fellow of the World Academy of Art and Science and appointed as the Director of the World University Consortium, California, USA. I invite you to the dais, sir. It's my honor to introduce our next distinguished guest today, a seasoned diplomat, a scholar, and a respected voice in the global affairs, Mr. T.P. Srinivasan, IFS, a former ambassador and permanent representative of India to the United Nations, Vienna, Governor for India of the International Atomic Energy Agency, Vienna, and ambassador to Austria and Slovenia. T.P. Srinivasan has served in the Indian Foreign Service for 37 years. His previous postings were as Deputy Chief of Mission in the Embassy of India, Washington, High Commissioner of India to Kenya, and Permanent Representative of India to the United Nations in Nairobi, Ambassador and Deputy Permanent Representative of India to the United Nations, New York, and Ambassador to Fiji and 8 other South Pacific island states. Mr. Srinivasan has nearly 20 years of experience in multilateral diplomacy and has represented India at a number of international conferences organized by the United Nations, the Commonwealth, and the Non-Aligned Movement. He has chaired several UN committees and conferences. He also contributes regularly to the Indian and foreign publications such as the Asia Wall Street Journal, New York Times, The Hindu, The Times of India, and so on. His presence with us today is both an honor and an inspiration to all of us. A hearty welcome to you, sir. The next distinguished to honor us with his presence is Professor S. Ganeshan, the Head of Education Initiatives at the Logistics Sector Skill Council. Under the visionary leadership of Professor S. Ganeshan, LSC has played a pivotal role in bridging the gap between and empowering individuals to thrive in the evolving logistics and supply chain industry. He also serves as a respected member of the advisory board of GIIMS. May I now invite Professor S. Ganeshan to the dais. Welcome, sir. It's with great honor and great pleasure that I extend a warm welcome to Mr. Matthew Abraham, Chief Operating Officer, GIIMS. His dynamic leadership has propelled GIIMS to remarkable milestones, setting new standards in education, in logistics and supply chain management education. Welcome, sir. Now, I extend a warm welcome to Ms. Rini George, Director of GIIMS, Her inspiring leadership and unwavering commitment has been the driving force behind the institution's growth and success. Welcome, ma'am. It's my pleasure to welcome Ms. Haripriya, Dean and Head of the Department, GIIMS. Her dedication to academic excellence and student development continues to shape the future of countless aspiring professionals. Welcome, ma'am. It's indeed a great honor to welcome a distinguished personality, Major General Jacob Tarakan Chako, a senior military leader, acclaimed author, and strategic affair expert. He has served the nation with unwavering dedication and exemplary vision. Currently, General Jacob serves as director at Ozak Technologies Private Limited, a cutting-edge defense technology startup in Palakkad. As a defense analyst, he frequently appears on national television to share his balanced insights on defense matters. A prolific writer, he has contributed to various publications. We're truly privileged to have you with us today, sir. Please welcome. We are equally honored to welcome Dr. K.N. Raghavan, IRS. He served the government in various capacities, which include Commissioner of Customs Kochi, Deputy Director, Directorate of Revenue Intelligence Calicut, Managing Director of Kerala Cooperative Rubber Marketing Federation, CEO, Cooperative Medical College, Kochi, and CEO of Norca Roots. Dr. Raghavan is also an accomplished author, having written books on cricket, history, and geopolitics. Notably, he has also been an umpire accredited with the Board of Control for Cricket in India, BCCI. Sir, we extend a warm welcome. Now, I would like to welcome few more of dignitaries on the stage. Mr. Tom Jose, Chief Information Officer, Global Institute of Integral Management Studies. I thank him for providing his gracious presence to join us today to enhance our joy. We are very fortunate to have Dr. Gayatri Harish, Head of Skilling and Academic Linkages, LSE at GIIMS. We believe in nurturing strong industry partnership, and Dr. Gayatri has been an instrumental in facilitating these collaborations. Welcome, ma'am. It's my pleasure to extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to all our esteemed faculty members whose presence adds great value to this inauguration. Welcome, our dear faculty. It gives me a great joy to extend the most cordial welcome to all the parents who are present here. Your steadfast support and involvement means the world to us. Thank you for coming and being a part of this inauguration. On behalf of GIIMS, I extend a heartfelt welcome to all our media partners for amplifying our message and connecting us with the wider world. Now, heartfelt and enthusiastic welcome to our vibrant new members of the GIIMS family, our students of 4th batch. As you step into this academic journey, may you find purpose, resilience, and excellence, just as your batch name proudly signifies. Once again, I'm welcoming all of you to the 21st batch inauguration of Global Institute of Integral Management Studies. Let's now observe a 1-minute silent prayer, seeking blessings for a meaningful beginning and to express gratitude for all that we have. Kindly rise. Please be seated. Moving forward, I invite Mr. S.S. Srijit, CEO of GIIMS, to deliver the welcome speech and to give us an overview of GIIMS. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Shilpa. President and CEO of World Academy of Art and Science and World University Consortium, and Chairman of Global Institute of Integral Management Studies Academic Board, Dr. Gary Jacobs. He's attending online. Former Ambassador of India and Permanent Representative to United Nations, esteemed Mr. T.P. Srinivasan, IFS. Chief panelists of today's discussion on Operation Sindhur, Major General Jacob Tharagan, and former Chief Commissioner of Customs and GST, Dr. K.N. Raghavan IRS, Secretary General of World Academy of Art and Science and one of the directors of World University Consortium, Mrs. Janani Ramanathan, Head of Educational Initiatives of Logistics Sector Skill Council, Professor S. Ganeshan, my partners, Mr. Matthew Abraham and Mr. Tom Jose, Director of GIIMS, Ms. Renee George, Dean and HOD, Ms. Haripriya Umadevan, Associate HOD, Shilpa Gobinathan, my dear other team members of GIIMS, guest faculty members, media associates, other dignitaries of the dais, my dear students and parents, a warm good morning and namaste to you all. It was really an exciting decade of excellence for Global Institute of Integral Management Studies from its humble beginnings in 2015. Now, GIIMS, as an organization in the field of logistics education, is positioned with 4,000 plus alumni, 60 plus staff including guest faculty, 500 plus company associations, placements offered in 11 countries, students working with top 10 multinational companies including MSC, Maersk, FedEx, Kuehne+Nagel, Hapag-Lloyd in the logistics sector. 2 centers, one in Cochin and another in Trivandrum. Third one getting opened in Pondicherry on March 1st, 2026. 4 extension centers we have, one in Palakkad, others in Perimbavur, Kodamangalam, and Kanyakumari with the reputed colleges. It's also a much delightful moment for all of us here that today marks the inauguration of our 21st batch in logistics and supply chain management. We host 500 students in Cochin and 100 students in Trivandrum in this July batch, aptly named as Force 2025. These milestones fills the GIIMS team with a lot of energy and enthusiasm. With a new branch opening at Pondicherry this year, we are building an ecosystem to train 1,000 students in the field of logistics and supply chain management with 100 staff members. Growth of GIIMS is in correspondence to the social context which international prevails in our country and elsewhere. International trade is increasing. The world is becoming more and more globalized even during this tariff saga. And each one of us are consuming more than 25 international products daily. When it comes to trade and commerce, nations and companies are competing aggressively to capture international markets. This highlights the importance of effective economical and technology-driven movement of goods and services, which our studies in logistics dwell in depth and in specifics. This 2025 batch is all about you, your aspirations and dreams. We know that many of you have joined a course, either in Global Masters, postgraduate diploma, professional diploma, or advanced diploma, with a clear objective in your mind, objective of securing a job and building a career in logistics and supply chain management. The National Skill Development Council of India, in a statistical projection, states that there will be around 2 million new job openings in this sector by 2027. As the sector is the highest in job generation, you have made the right choice by enrolling in this program. You can see everywhere job vacancies as logistics manager, procurement executive, inventory manager, transportation manager, EXIM executive, air cargo manager, traffic controllers in container freight stations and in ports, etc. All these jobs are meant for you, and hence I sincerely congratulate you and your parents in making this choice of joining a course in logistics and supply chain management. We have to thank our associates for the significant progress we have made in training and placing students. Our first associate of World University Consortium, promoted by the fellows of the prestigious World Academy of Art and Science from US, had significantly contributed in creating a quality education for our institution. We incorporated a contextual education, a life-based one in logistics, a value-based and a student-centered one through the support and leadership of its president and CEO, Dr. Gary Jacobs and his team. Trainings, what we got, faculty members, all the staff, what we got from Dr. Alberto Succoni, an Italian clinical psychologist who was a student and research partner of the famous scientist Dr. Carl Rogers, made us understand the significance of student-centered learning management systems. We have our second associate as collaborating partner, Logistics Sector Skill Council, promoted by Ministry of Skills and Entrepreneurship Development. He is helping us establishing a job and skill mapping syllabus in the sector of supply chain management in tune with National Skill Development Council and industrial demands. With their guidance and mentorship, GIIMS had developed itself and incorporated a modern and trendy courses like green supply chain management, artificial intelligence and robotics, business analytics, geography and mathematics for logistician, even management by consciousness. We also are delivering an education which is based on a simple concept called SKAV, that is enhancing skills, knowledge, attitude, and values together in an individual. Let us consider the logistics sector for a moment. We can see that job and career opportunities offered by this sector are vast and extensive. It is a field with the highest job openings for youths in India today, with the largest international seaport transshipment terminal at Vizhinjam and yet another in Vallarpadam, international air cargo centers in Trivandrum, Cochin, Calicut and Kannur, smart city getting developed in Palakkad, 4 international airports and 500 kilometers, 6-lane highways, the retail and e-commerce revolution happening in our state of Kerala. This tiny state is progressively emerging as the single largest corridor with all necessary connectivity and services. Alongside your studies, you should ask yourself and keep 2 fundamental questions. Do I have the necessary employability skills and knowledge to seize these opportunities. What qualities do companies look for in a candidate while hiring? You have taken the first step of selecting the field of logistics and supply chain management, but that is not enough. It's all about preparing yourself or transforming your personality suitable to fit into these job positions. GIIMS is promised in identifying and filling those gaps and making you a personality or bringing your best version in tune with the corporate requirements. First of all, I am welcoming to you join hands with GIIMS with your trust, commitment, and willingness to transform and train in the field of logistics over the coming months. Your fullest cooperation with the standard operating procedures set by GIIMS are crucial. We start off with a 15-day foundation session covering a wide range areas in this field. Today, we are going to listen from our esteemed panelists about the strategic and military perspectives of Operation Sindhur. Tomorrow, our regular session starts with a recap on this session and will assess the logistics perspectives of the military operation. In the coming days, we will move on to the history of Cochin, from the Green Revolution of the 1960s to the movement of COVID-19 vaccines, and from the logistics of movie making to construction logistics. We will have special sessions on health and wellness and personality development. Following these sessions, you will participate in industry interactions, industrial visits, MS Office and SAP training, and internship with the different companies. Later on, we will have spoken English sessions and interview preparation sessions as well. I warmly welcome all of you to embark on this remarkable journey of professional transformation. We are deeply passionate about the boundless service we can offer you in your career development. We have great personalities here with us today. I would like to extend a warm welcome to Dr. Gary Jacobs. He is online. Esteemed Mr. T.P. Srinivasan, Major General Mr. Jacob Tharagan, Dr. K.N. Raghavan, Mrs. Jenny Ramanathan, Professor S. Ganeshan, Mr. Matthew, Director and Dean and staff team of GIIMS, guest faculty members, students and parents. Welcome to the inaugural ceremony of our 21st batch in Logistics and Supply Chain Management, Force 2025. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Srijit sir, for setting the tone for this inauguration function and for sharing your vision with us. Now, it's an honor to present a message from a visionary leader, a mentor, and a guiding light in the journey of GIIMS, Dr. Gary Jacobs. He is the President and CEO of the World Academy of Art and Science, USA, CEO of the World University Consortium, USA, and Chairman of Global Institute of Integral Management Studies. Let's take a moment to listen to his recorded message.
Good morning. I'm very happy to welcome the students of Force 25 to the inaugural event for GIIMS in its 10th year. And I'd like to congratulate you all on an excellent decision, perhaps one of the most important of your life. You have signed up for higher education at GIIMS. And a special greeting to Ambassador Srinivasan and Professor Ganesan, and to all of the wonderful faculty of GIIMS. I regret that I cannot be there with you physically today. My reason is that I will be inaugurating the 65th anniversary International Conference of the World Academy of Art and Science, which will involve about 100 speakers on very important issues related to the challenges facing humanity today. They'll be coming from all over the world. But my heart will be with you in welcoming you to your adventures at GIIMS. The World Academy of Art and Science is a leading international academy founded in 1960 by eminent intellectuals. I'm the president, and you'll soon be hearing from Janani Ramanathan, who's our Secretary General, and Srijit, who's a distinguished fellow of the Academy. I mention it because the World Academy and its sister organization, the World University Consortium, which was founded in 2014, have been close partners with GIIMS since its founding 10 years ago. And Srijit is also a director of World University Consortium. And this is a group of world experts on higher education who have been working with GIIMS since its founding to try to develop a really world-class education with the finest content, delivery system, and pedagogy. And that's our goal. Our goal is to develop GIIMS as a model institution, not only in India, where it's already gained a very strong reputation as the leading private sector college for logistics and supply chain management, but now spreading it around the world. That's our goal. Education is a passport to personal achievement and national development, and logistics and supply chain management are critical needs for a rapidly growing nation like India. You've chosen a right field, a right time, and a right place to enter this industry. Our goal is to create an education for business success and for highest individual accomplishment, whether it's as a manager or an entrepreneur in your own business. In the first 5 years of its functioning, GIIMS earned a reputation as the best private LSCM college in India. But as management, we weren't satisfied. We knew we could do better. And we decided to invent a new curriculum and a new way of teaching equal to the best in the world. And that's what we've been doing over the last 5 years. The GIIMS team and our experts from World University Consortium have been collaborating to transform education in this field in India. GIIMS is already a pioneer. We've pioneered a new curriculum, what we call life-centered contextual knowledge. Education for the real world, practical education that can relate to your experience and what's going on in the country all around you all the time. A new pedagogy, person-centered, life-based, value-based pedagogy that makes you, the student, is really the objective of this course. It's not the course, it's not the subject, it's the person we want to develop and prepare for a successful career. Now GIIMS is recognized and our students are being employed around the country in leading corporations and internationally also. And you'll be hearing the names of many of those companies as we go through the course. But we're still not satisfied. WASP, WUC, and GIIMS are collaborating on taking the experiences we've had internationally. We've already conducted 7 international conferences over the last decade on the future of education. And we have the plans for the 8th one coming up sometime towards the end of this year in New Delhi. We're applying AI in logistics education to make GIIMS a world leader. We're talking about an AI-driven world-class education. And our future plans include starting another business college for logistics and supply chain management and advanced management theory in Pondicherry in about a year from now in collaboration with our partners. The key for a quality education has to address 6 important factors. First and most obviously is we have to be teaching the latest knowledge in the world, the latest developments in the world, the latest strategies, the latest theories. So you are up to date. When you enter the workforce, you will know where this industry is today and where business and management is headed today. But that also has to have practical skills, advanced practical skills, especially knowing the power of computing and AI and how AI is changing this industry and other industries that our companies are in, to give you the skills that are the building blocks for individual success, corporate accomplishment, and national development. And also we put a great emphasis on aspiration, on will, on determination. what you want and how much you want it, because that's going to be a critical determinant of your success in life. It's will that generates the power to accomplishment. And that power expresses as energy, high energy, the energy for high accomplishment. And that energy, when it expresses, it becomes a force for accomplishment in a company and in your life. And that's the significance of Force 2025. That's what we want you to emerge with, the power, the energy, the force for high accomplishment. And every effective management education needs to focus on the power of organization, the power of systems, of structures, to put all things together to deliver quality products and services in the minimum time and the minimum cost to customers over far long distances. And another word, most important of all these, is values. Values that we express in our thoughts, our attitudes, and our actions. And you're going to be hearing that from day one in this program up through the very last day. We consider values the secret formula for highest accomplishment. They foster the right attitudes, the right enthusiasm, the right teamwork and quality of service, honesty, punctuality, and all the services that the society needs. With these values, you can undertake any work successfully. This is an unprecedented opportunity. It's an opportunity for India. It's an opportunity for the world. It's an opportunity for you. To launch a successful career in one of the most dynamic industries in the world, to acquire the essential knowledge and skill needed for success in any field, to develop your personal capacities for higher accomplishment in life, and also acquire the capacities for self-employment and entrepreneurship if you should like to choose it. You'll be learning in GIIMS all the essentials of logistics and supply chain management, but you'll also gain great special insight into topics that you're not likely to learn elsewhere. Logistics is one of the fundamental activities of life in every field, from transport of goods for the factory and field, to the local and national market, to global supply chains that deliver products and services worldwide. From production and distribution to conducting marriages, festivals, handling emergencies such as floods and pandemics, to global sporting events such as FIFA. You will learn the essence of what makes society successful, from roads and railway and sea and air transport to global information and money transfers. You'll also learn the secrets that are behind the success of some of the largest and most famous companies, cities, and countries in the world. From Lulu, FedEx, Apple, Amazon, Walmart, Dubai, Silicon Valley, Doha, Singapore. You're about to embark on a unique course, we call it the Foundation course, to give you an overview of what this field is like and what GIIMS is like and what you can gain in the next 1 year working through this course. You're about to embark on a unique foundation course developed by GIIMS, an orientation course to teach you not only about the industry, not only about the course you've chosen, but about the key elements that you're going to be learning during this period and during the course of your studies at GIIMS. This is a contextual education that presents knowledge in a real-world context. It's a life education that relates your learning to your own life experience. It's a personal education that helps you develop your mind, heart, and personality for accomplishment in any field you choose. This is a great time to be entering this field in India, when the country is booming economically and growing, and logistics is one of the fastest growing industries we have here. I welcome you to Force 25 at GIIMS and look forward to observing your progress in knowledge and the launch of your very successful careers. Good morning.
Thank you, Dr. Gary Jacobs, for your inspiring and insightful message. Your vision continues to empower and guide us. Following that powerful message, we now have the privilege of hearing from another distinguished personality, Ms. Janani Ramanathan. She serves as the Secretary General of the World Academy of Art and Science. Director of the World University Consortium, California, USA, and is a respected member of the advisory board of GIIMS. Let's now watch her recorded message.
Good morning. I'm happy to be part of today's program, even if it is only by this video. I congratulate everyone who is part of the GIIMS family, the management, faculty members, students, and parents for reaching this milestone today. And special congratulations to the students who are joining. You have come to the right place and selected to study a subject that is going to be very important for the future. We all talk about the future in different ways, but how do we know what it is going to bring? Each day brings new dramatic headlines, changes in political, economic, business fields. With science and technology, of course, there are advancements that astonish us constantly, particularly artificial intelligence. On the one hand, there are amazing developments which we can use. On the other are threats. We don't know what AI is capable of, what our human beings' position is going to be if AI advances too much. So, in such a situation, how do we make long term plans about the future? Now, think about long distance travel. Assume that you're going to be driving across the country, say from Mumbai to Kolkata, some 2000 kilometers. You cannot start your journey seeing the entire route or even the destination. You have a map, or say now you have a GPS or some app on your phone, and you can see a few hundred meters in front if the road is straight, or just a few meters in front if it is dark. Only what your headlights illuminate in front is visible, but we have the destination fixed and the headlights let us see a few meters ahead. So you still proceed, and when you cross those few meters, the next few meters become visible. You proceed like this till you complete that 2000 kilometers and reach your destination. Now, in your career journey, how do you proceed? What is your map or GPS? What is the light that lets you take the next step? The map is your highest aspiration, your aim, your ambition, where you want to be, say 2 or 5 or 10 years from now. And the headlights that show you the route are your positive human values, what you believe is right, ethical, fair, responsible. Now, with this combination, you cannot go wrong. When your highest aspiration tells you where to go and your personal values show you the next step that you need to take, let any advancement in AI come, any political change at the local or global level threaten to disrupt the way the world has been functioning, your future is going to be secure. So don't stop learning. And by learning, I don't just mean from the textbooks alone, that is necessary, but keep your eyes and ears open. And more importantly, keep your mind open always. Stay curious and use every opportunity that is going to come your way in the next, in the coming months that you're going to be here at GIIMS. And you will graduate from here with the best chances for a successful life and career. With that, I will conclude. Wishing you all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Janani Ramanathan, for your warm words and valuable encouragement. Now, let's get into the inauguration of the 21st batch in Logistics and Supply Chain Management. It's my honor and privilege to welcome a distinguished diplomat, scholar, thought leader, Mr. T.P. Srinivasan, IFS, former ambassador of India and permanent representative to the United Nations, former vice chairman of the Kerala State Higher Education Council. Mr. Srinivasan has represented India on the global stage with grace and insight. We are truly honored to have him today to deliver the inaugural address. We warmly welcome you, sir.
the CEO of GIIMS, Mr. Srijit, and other leaders of GIIMS, including Rini George, who persuaded me to come here. I'm most delighted that I'm here to flag off Force 25 and also to witness the first courses that you will be participating in. Since the last 20 years, I have been back in India. I have been invited more to management associations than any other institution. Then briefly, I was also the Vice Chairman of the Kerala State Higher Education Council. And I have moved away rather from what I learned, that is English literature in the university, and what I practiced, diplomacy. So I've been constantly endeavoring to bring some linkages between all these, just for me to survive. And so I have invented a theme, interfacing diplomacy and management. You may never have heard about it because I just invented it. And this is a very important aspect of education everywhere else I have been, United States particularly. As an ambassador, I was invited many, many times to American institutions who are planning to go to India, and others who are about to leave for India to join their work. And I was very impressed that they take care to educate their executives when they go to another country on every aspect of India. Unfortunately, I do not think we have that linkage here. In fact, I persuaded some management institutions like the CMS to start a semester on international relations. It went very well, but since I got busy with many other things, I do not know whether they are continuing it or not. So I think that asking me to come here today is probably that awareness that we need to know a bit of the world. We all hear about many things. Of course, President Trump dominates everything these days, and we have no idea what he is up to. So any amount of scholarship on international relations will not apply to Donald Trump. But now we have to find a way in which we link Donald Trump with the past of the United States and the future. I don't know whether he is ready for such education, but one can see that he is learning. He has invented a new way of fighting wars. I don't know whether you have noticed it. Recently, when he gave an ultimatum to President Putin to stop the war within 50 days, he did not say, if you don't, I'll bomb Moscow. That is the normal threat, isn't it, for a president of the United States? You know what he said? If you don't do that, I'll impose more tariffs on you. So he has weaponized tariffs. I don't know whether you have learned anything about it in your own studies. It's a new phenomenon. Again, when we had the 4-day war with Pakistan, he promptly came and said, I stopped this war. Our Prime Minister was looking around. What did he do? He said, I told India and Pakistan, if you don't stop the war, I will not trade with you. So here you are. We are in a new phase of fighting wars, not with bombs and missiles, but with trade and tariffs. That is where the importance of management institutions and the full study of global issues in order to understand, even if you don't go abroad to work, I do not think that you can function effectively if you do not know what the trends in the world are. I heard Mr. Gary Jacobs and also Janani Ramanathan, which shows that you have a global outlook. You're associated with world institutions. And this is something which is commendable, because we cannot close ourselves into a well and win the global economy and global management. I know I have to speak in a panel on Operation Sindhur. So I do not want to make a long inaugural statement. Operation Sindhur is a very interesting topic to talk about. But even for Operation Sindhur, to understand that, we need to know what is happening to the world. I'll briefly talk about the world that we see today as against the world I saw for 20 years at the United Nations. I have been to the UN very recently, and only the building is the same. Nothing else is the same anymore. People look the same as those who worked with me, but their software has completely changed. You cannot relate to them with the understanding and knowledge that we had of the Cold War or the post-Cold War. So for a man like me who has seen the Cold War and the immediate aftermath of the end of the Cold War, the world is certainly upside down. It is topsy-turvy. Because nothing that we applied in order to create peace or development is valid. And that is the reason why the United Nations has failed and failed miserably. My 20 years in the United Nations, I do not know that we achieved anything, but now we know that we have failed. Because when diplomacy fails, wars start. So I stand before you as a failed diplomat because we had not anticipated that this will happen. Why is it so? You need to understand the scheme of things of the UN Charter. I don't know how many of you have read it, but in India we have great respect for the UN. Even today we take the UN very seriously. But the heart of the United Nations is not simply peace, development, human rights, etc. we associated with the UN. But there is a mechanism to deal with conflicts and wars. And there is a scheme of things which is in the United Nations Charter. First, it is preventive diplomacy, which means even before a conflict arises, the Secretary General of the UN, as the conscience keeper of the world, has the authority to bring any potential situation to the Security Council. And the Security Council engages in what is called preventive diplomacy. That is step one. The second step, very normally, is a ceasefire. Whatever may be the case, stop the war. And most often, the United Nations' demand for stopping the war has worked. Then what they do is, the United Nations does is, you engage in peacekeeping operations. There are many, there are nearly 40 UN peacekeeping operations. And India is perhaps the leader of that. We have provided the largest number of troops to the United Nations forces in different parts of the world. We lost about 100 soldiers in the UN wars, but nobody thinks that it was a big loss. It was a contribution. You may not even know that there is a peacekeeping force operating in Jammu and Kashmir. Are you aware of that? There are some soldiers roaming around their peacekeeping operations. But we do not recognize it because we think that the peacekeeping operations which started at the end of the war between India and Pakistan, and that was considered the ceasefire line. But in 1972, when we signed the Simla Agreement, the ceasefire line stopped. There was no more ceasefire line between India and Pakistan. We called it the line of control. In fact, you will be surprised to know that in Simla, the generals sat down and redrew the map of the ceasefire line to make it line of control. And Pakistan and India agreed to that. Then we went to the UN and said, now there is no ceasefire line, please withdraw the peacekeeping operations. But then, strangely, there is a provision in the Charter that if a peacekeeping operation is launched, it can be withdrawn only with the agreement of both the countries involved. And Pakistan said, no, we want the peacekeeping force. So we have a peculiar situation. There's a band of about 32 soldiers roaming around on the Pakistan side of the border, and we do not recognize it. But they do come to Delhi for all their facilities, home, petrol, cars, etc. And that remains. Of course, such situations are there in other places also. And then once peacekeeping is established, there is no fighting, then you start peacemaking. And once you come to an arrangement which is acceptable, successful cases like Cambodia, etc., then you start peace building. That is to, reinforce the economy and make these countries normal back again. And these steps, the scheme for establishing peace is today non-existent. The only reason for it is the veto of the 5 permanent members. They were given the veto not as a trophy for winning the Second World War, but because they took on the responsibility of keeping the peace in the world. And it worked to a certain extent. We have several examples where veto may have helped. Veto helped us in the United Nations when Jammu and Kashmir issue came up. There would have been a resolution against India on Jammu and Kashmir if Soviet Union had not vetoed it 5 times. So we cannot blame the veto for everything. But today, an unprecedented occasion has come about in which a permanent member of the Security Council, which has the responsibility of the key peace, is waging a war against another member of the United Nations. This was not expected at all. I'm talking about the Russia-Ukraine war. Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union, of which Russia was also a major part. Ukraine was the keeper of the nuclear weapons that Soviet Union had. And today, this veto-wielding member has waged a war against Ukraine. And anything that the UN wants to do is vetoed by Russia. In 1945, when this was discussed, somebody raised this issue. What happens if a veto-wielding power wages a war against another member? we must have some provision. But the veto-wielding member said, "Are you joking? It will never happen." That was the guarantee that gave us. So there goes the UN as far as war and peace is concerned. And think of the pandemic. There have been more other diseases, global diseases, epidemics, etc., like the Ebola virus, HIV, AIDS. All these were dealt with the United Nations as a whole, and the measures taken were supervised by the UN Security Council. But today, the Security Council cannot even meet on the question of the pandemic, because China is suspected to have created the virus. You know, President Trump used to call it the Wuhan virus. And therefore, China as a permanent member vetoed every step that the countries proposed for dealing with the pandemic, including development of vaccines. So HIV, AIDS, and Ebola we managed because of the unity and cohesion of the UN operations. While because of China, only the World Health Organization, WHO, was the only one dealing with it. And there were more deaths in developed countries than in developing countries. And it took 2 years for us to get the first vaccine out. So I'm just giving you 2 examples of how the United Nations has become totally ineffective. There's nothing it can do. Is there an alternative to this? Many people are thinking of alternatives. I once wrote that G20 must replace the Security Council. Why G20? Because it is more representative than the Security Council. And secondly, it has no veto. Nobody in the G20 has any veto. This was discussed all around, but it was realized that such a change was not possible. And for very reason, India is an aspirant to the permanent membership, but we are sure not to get it. Because to get your permanent membership, many of you may be thinking that tomorrow, day after, we will be a permanent member of the United Nations. I'm sure it will not happen, at least in my lifetime. Because you need 5 permanent members' votes plus 2/3 majority of the General Assembly. You may be able to persuade the 5 permanent members, but having worked on it in the UN, I can tell you that we have only 70 votes. You need 135. So there is no chance of a reform of the Security Council. So what we need to do is to reorient multilateralism. And this is at the heart of all the evils that we face today. Nobody will agree to write off the United Nations or, it's a system established, huge salaries are being paid, thousands of people working in different parts of the world. You cannot dismantle it. And therefore, at the heart of the present problem is the inefficiency of the United Nations and the inability of the world in order to change that system. We have been hearing the word system in Kerala in the last few days. Everything is being blamed for the system. So we can blame the United Nations system for all the problems that we are facing. So what the UN was, it was not that it was solving all the problems, but there was some hope, some expectation that better sense will prevail. And that doesn't exist today. So, therefore, the alliances have collapsed. There is no Warsaw Pact, but there is NATO. But NATO is doing various other things. There is no non-aligned movement. There is no any kind of alliances because a new world order has to come around. The old one is gone completely. And everyone in the world today is trying to find a place for it in the new world order. And therefore, nobody is willing to align with anybody else. So from the United States to the smallest island state in the Pacific, each country is thinking of getting a place for it in the new world order, which we do not know what it would be. And this is the reason why I said the world is topsy-turvy. But where does the hope? Hope remains only in our optimism. Because mankind has overcome many, many crises. So though we do not have a plan for a new world order, we can trust in God and believe that something will happen. In Charles Dickens' novel, there is a character who gets into all kinds of troubles. And when they ask him, how will you solve this? He will always say, something will turn up. So the only hope that we have is that something will turn up from somewhere and we will all be saved. But what I'm trying to say is that linkages between managements and management of things, we heard about artificial intelligence. It's a very unimaginative name we have given. I don't know who gave that name. What is artificial intelligence? As against human intelligence? There are many things that we have found out. We never call it artificial. This is natural. You must have read or heard Yuval Harari, who talks about the growth of mankind as compared to the growth of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence today is what we were when we were amoeba, according to Yuval Harari. And it took us centuries to become what we are. But artificial intelligence is growing 100 times, 1,000 times, million times faster than the evolution of mankind. So it is sure to overtake us. And the skill remains not only in managing your machinery and equipment, but of being able to overcome the problems or conquer the new technology. We have done that in many ways. When the steam engine was invented, people thought that this is the end of the world. When computers came, at least in Kerala, we thought it was the end of the world. And so we demonstrated against computers. So we have to welcome technology, but unless you conquer technology, as Yuval Harari said, we will be creating worthless human beings. Your job will not be lost because of artificial intelligence, but your jobs will be lost because of those who have mastered artificial intelligence. That is the way to look at it. So I do not want to go any further and make you gloomy, but it is in your hands. That means managers, technologists, not in the hands of diplomats anymore. We have surrendered. So up with you, and I'm glad that you are doing the right course in the right place, as the professor said. And I wish you all the very best. I'm happy to inaugurate Force 2025 and wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for that enlightening and thought-provoking words. Your words have definitely added great value to this gathering, and we're truly fortunate to have you here today. The lighting of the lamp is a meaningful tradition that marks the start of a new journey. It symbolizes knowledge, hope, and positivity. I now invite all the dignitaries on the dais to come forward and join in lighting the lamp. I kindly request Mr. T.P. Srinivasan, IFS, Major General Jacob Taragan Chako, and Dr. K.N. Raghavan, IRS, to illuminate the lamp signifying the journey of force. again next time, sir.
There's a Karpuram falls off. It's not embarrassing.
I invite Mr. S.S. Regit, Mr. Matthew Abraham, and Mr. Ganeshan to join us for lighting the lamp. I now request Ms. Rini George, Director, Ms. Haripriya to come forward and light the lamp. May I now request Mr. Ravi R. Kamath, General Manager, Marketing, and Mr. Midun Shankar, General Manager, Ms. Jaya KG, DGM Academics, Ms. Krishna Rajiv, General Manager, CDCR, Ms. Neenu Jose, Senior Faculty, Mr. Nishan Sebastian, General Manager, Response, to add light to our collective journey. I also request Ms. Gayatri Harish to come forward and to join us, ma'am. Please come. I now invite our Life MBA students and the students representing the new force batch to come forward for the lamp lighting ceremony. Thank you all. Please be seated. Now I invite Professor S. Ganeshan, Head of Education Initiatives at the Logistics Sector Skill Council, to shed light on the invaluable role that LSE plays in the field of logistics. Welcome, sir.
Good morning to you all. With lot of pride, I am standing before you in this hall on the occasion of the inauguration of 21st batch of students for GIIMS. There are a few things about logistics industry as such which you have to know on this day, because you are starting a new journey in logistics learning. So I thought that I can tell you something about the logistics industry today. Logistics as an industry is very crucial for the country's economic development, and this is contributing about 14% of the national GDP to the country. This is about 10 lakh crore in today's value. And this is today valued in 2024, it was valued at 228 billion US dollars. The expectation is by 2030, this will grow to 357 billion US dollars. You can just understand what kind of enormous growth the industry is expecting in the days to come. This is already 2025. Within 5 years from now, this is going to hit around 260 US billion dollar worth for logistics industry in India. And today, in 2024, about 2.85 crore people were working in the logistics industry. And within another 3 years, that is 2027, not 2030, by 2027, from 24 onwards, the government estimated that about 1 crore new employees will join the industry. You can just imagine you are in 2025 now, and within 1 year or 1.5 years, depending on which program you have joined here, you'll be completing your education, logistics education, and get a certificate. And this certificate will really be a kind of key to you to open the carriers in logistics. Because within another 2 years, you are going to see enormous increase in the human resource requirement for the industry. And when you go to the industry with the skill and with the necessary certification, I am sure that you will be taken in for full-time placement in the companies. And until about 6 years or 5 years back, we had seen that logistics industry had been opted by graduates or the youth to get into employment not by choice but by chance. Only those who were not able to join any other company or any other industry will go to logistics, because they always consider that logistics is not a dream career opportunity. But today the situation has changed. The government has taken a lot of efforts from 2014 onwards, when Logistics Sector Skill Council was established by the government. The government is doing a lot of things to make logistics as very vibrant industry and then improve its contribution to the total economic development. One thing I would like to tell you is about the implementation of National Logistics Policy. The policy was formulated. It was in circulation for about 2 years among the industry leaders, and finally by the middle of 2020 the government declared and notified the logistics policy, National Logistics Policy. The beautiful aspect of this policy is, apart from the national policy, every other state government will also have a logistics policy, state level logistics policy. And both these policies are integrated seamlessly, so that whatever the national government does is benefited in the states also. Kerala state logistics policy is there, and then every other state. Majority of the states have already declared their own state level logistics policy. And because of this, we are seeing enormous growth in the industry. Particularly, I would like to tell you about one thing that has happened. There is a concept called multimodal logistics parks in India. The national government is establishing 35 such parks across the country, and every single park is established by a special purpose vehicle, a special company, which is into the triple P mode, public, private, and then the government also. So in the multimodal logistics park, the central government, the state government, and one particular industry leader will also be there. And in Kerala, in Kochi, right here, you have in Wellington Island, one multimodal logistics park, Kerala Multimodal Logistics Parks Limited, is the company which is implementing that. You can just imagine 35 such parks across the country is going to make the country as one of the very important happening places in the world for logistics. In addition to the multimodal logistics parks, we are also establishing, the national government is also establishing 5 national level logistics hubs in India and many regional hubs also. By 2035, when all these organizations or facilities start working very vibrantly, I am sure the government is also very much sure about that. The Indian country will become an international logistics hub for the entire world. This is what is going to happen. And towards that, the government is also creating a lot of policy corrections and new policies to make the cost involved in logistics processes in India reduced. The government would like to keep the process cost, logistics process cost in India to be at 9%, which is on par with international logistic cost. And when this is happening, many multinational organizations will also be there, and then all of you will have really good opportunities to join logistics companies. And as all of you are almost new for logistics industry, I would like to tell you that certain opportunities which are available for you in logistics field, both in the country and outside the country. LSC is a unique organization developed by the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India. We are mandated to help the industry in creating skilled manpower for ready employment in logistics processes. And towards that, we have created more than 2,000 training centers across the country. And we have created training programs, very scientifically developed training programs. And these training programs are attended by many youth and then people who are even school dropout and then college dropout, people who are grossly underemployed, and people who would like to get into logistics industry in an organized manner or organized employment. They participate, they undergo these training programs, and we are able to place them with the help of the industry. So this Logistics Sector Skill Council is collaborating with GIIMS, where we have joined for this program, and we have jointly developed GIIMS and LSE. Both of us have developed jointly 6 learning programs in logistics with various duration, and some of you have joined in all these, one of these 6 programs. What we have done is, we have incorporated the skill components in all these 6 learning programs so that these programs become eligible for getting government certification through a portal called SIP, Skill India Portal. When you complete the program, you will be getting a certificate, a joint certification with GIIMS along with LSE, and I would like to tell you this certificate has immense value across the Gulf region for employment. In addition to that, we are also operating many other degree programs, and these degree programs are also available in many colleges or many universities, and all these things go really well for young people like you to get into logistics industry for a career. I would like to tell you that I am going to divide it into 3 categories, and then one is the entry level jobs, and then middle level jobs, and the top level jobs. These career opportunities at the entry level, normally I am saying entry level meaning entry level of managerial jobs. So at the entry level of managerial jobs, these people will be known as supervisors or deputy managers or assistant managers, etc. And at that level, they get about 22,000 rupees to 25,000 rupees as monthly salary from Indian companies. But there are many multinational companies with which GIIMS has a lot of relationship. The multinational companies like DB Shankar or Kunenagal or Expeditor, etc., they provide about 30,000 rupees as entry level salary. And not only a salary, even stipend also they give more. Recently, LSE has achieved a monthly stipend of 30,000 rupees with a company for young people. This is only stipend. When they complete the apprenticeship, they will get into the same company, and at that time they may get about 45,000 rupees salary. This is only at the entry level. And at the entry level, you have many job roles like warehouse supervisor, logistics administrator, invoicing clerk, courier sorter, warehouse packer, etc. These are all. There are some more job roles are also available. You can browse and then get to know. And then at the middle level, you can become an inventory controller, a transport scheduler, import-export officer, shipped in charge, something like that. And at the top level, you can become a warehouse manager, independent manager, taking care of the entire warehouse, operations manager, purchase manager, supply chain manager, etc. And I told you about the entry level salary. This is about 22,000 rupees to 25,000 rupees in India, Indian companies. And at the middle level, within about 3 years, you can become a middle level manager, and at that time, you may get about 30,000 rupees to 35,000 rupees. And when you become an independent warehouse manager at the top level, which may happen in about 8 years after you join logistics company. At that time, you may get about 1 lakh rupees in the current level of salary, right? So this is about the logistics industry, and then the opportunities available for you. These are all for employment. And another very important opportunity is to become an entrepreneur in logistics. I have to tell this because I always believe that the Keralites have a very good ideas to become entrepreneurs of their own or bosses of their own, and lot of entrepreneurs are there in every country from Malayalam region, Malur region. And for you, I would like to tell you that nearly 85% of the logistics companies in India are owned and managed by small level companies, small and medium scale companies. So with about only 2 lakh rupees in your hand, you can start a logistics company. And if you want to become a boss of your own in logistics, LSE can help you through GIIMS to get into the entrepreneurial activities in your own region. So these are all some very important thing that you have to know about logistics industry. And on this day, I wish all of you to achieve your dreams in becoming a very, very efficient logistician for creating value to the companies and to your families also. Thank you very much and all the best.
Thank you, Professor S. Ganeshan, for that words, and sir, for gracing this occasion and for sharing your expertise with us. We are now set to begin our much-awaited panel discussion, Leadership in Action, Episode 4, Operation Sindhur. This impactful series highlights the real-life examples of leadership during moments that demand courage, clarity, and conviction. To introduce the Leadership in Action series and set the tone for today's discussion, I now invite Ms. Rini George, Director of GIIMS.
Good morning, everyone. My dear students and their family, a warm welcome to GIIMS. We are truly delighted to have you with us as you step into a transformative chapter of your life. It's also my true honor to welcome you to the episode 4 of Leadership in Action series, an inspiring initiative by GIIMS that continues to spark meaningful conversation around leadership and its most transformative and socially resonant form. At GIIMS, we believe leadership goes beyond titles or roles. It is the driving force that inspires transformation and fosters meaningful impact. This series stands as a testament to our commitment of global social responsibility, offering fresh perspectives and on how purposeful leadership uplifts communities, creates opportunities, and fosters ethical progress. Today's episode, Operation Sindhur, shines as a powerful embodiment of courageous and compassionate leadership. It reminds us that true leaders are defined not by strategies or status, but by the actions they take to heal, protect, and empower others. Before we dive into today's discussion, let's take a moment to reflect on the journey we have shared so far. Here's a short video that captures the essence of our earlier Leadership in Action episodes. We had episode 1, Shaping Tomorrow's City. Episode 2 was value-based education, a path to ethical and quality growth. And we had episode 3, Emergence of Kerala as a maritime and logistic hub. Can I have the video, please? As you have just seen, our previous series has explored bold vision for the future, reimagined education, and celebrated regional transformation. Each episode has spotlighted leadership that dares to dream, build with integrity, and drives meaningful impact. Now, as we turn the spotlight to the episode 4, we journey into something profound human, Operation Sindhur. Dear students, starting tomorrow in your classrooms, we will embark on a series of 16 carefully curated topics that aim on sharpening your understanding, expand your perspective, and prepare you for the impactful engagement, both academics and in the society. Our first session tomorrow will be Operation Sindhur, and it's not just a launch, it's a lens into compassionate leadership and meaningful service. This session draws from today's powerful panel discussion, and we will be referring several key insights shared by our esteemed speakers today. Their thoughts will form the foundation of tomorrow's class activities, so we strongly urge every student here to attend attentively, take thoughtful notes, and engage with materials deeply. Operation Sindhur also ties closely to the concepts in logistics and supply chain management and making it directly relevant to our academic journey. To guide this powerful conversation, we are privileged to be joined by an exceptional panel of thought leaders, Mr. T.P. Srinivasan, Major General Jacob Tharagan Chacko, and Dr. K.N. Raghavan IRS. Over to you, Raghavan, sir. We'll take a moment to settle in.
An important announcement to be made. Following the panel discussion, we will proceed with the talk by Mr. Matthew Abraham and the award ceremony.
say in English anyway. They are educated people. This is public here, some parents.
Hello? It's clear? Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you all. Good afternoon, Sir Ambassador Srinivasan. Good afternoon, General Jacob. This is a much awaited discussion on a topic of contemporary relevance. We all have been following what happened in Operation Sindhur right from the time of the terrorist attack in Pahalgam, the period of conflict or the hostilities that followed, the sudden ceasefire, and the development since then. We have with us two eminent personalities, Ambassador Srinivasan with his vast experience in the world of diplomacy, and General Jacob with his expertise in military, with his work in army and also military strategy, to tell us, give us insights into what happened, what are the things that we will have to be forewarned and forearmed with for the future. I'll start with you, Ambassador Srinivasan, if you don't mind. Operation Sindhur മുമ്പുള്ള സമയം നോക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ India was in a very comfortable position. We are doing well, the fifth largest economy, going to be the third largest one. Kashmir was peaceful. 2019 Article 370 repeal ചെയ്തതിനു ശേഷം കാശ്മീർ മൊത്തത്തിൽ ശാന്തമായിരുന്നു. എല്ലാ വർഷവും ലക്ഷക്കണക്കിന് ടൂറിസ്റ്റ് കാശ്മീരിലേക്ക് പോയിരുന്നു. അമേരിക്കയുമായിട്ട് നല്ല സൗഹൃദ ബന്ധം നമുക്ക് ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ കഴിഞ്ഞിരുന്നു. ചൈനയുമായിട്ടുണ്ടായ ഒരു ഗാൽവാനിലുണ്ടായ സംഘർഷം കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് അതിനെ മഞ്ഞുരുകാൻ തുടങ്ങിയിരുന്നു. But suddenly everything went wrong. And more importantly, Pakistan was on the back foot. Pakistan's ഉള്ളിൽ, you know that after Imran Khan left, there was a protest and even the army was targeted. And they have been facing, there's a lame duck prime minister sort of, who is not approved by the people, is considered to be weak and holds his position only because of the blessings of army. Even their external environment was difficult. അവർ തന്നെ സ്ഥാപിച്ച താലിബാനിൽ, അഫ്ഗാനിസ്ഥാനിലെ താലിബാൻ ഭരണകൂടം അവർക്കെതിരെ നീക്കങ്ങൾ നടത്തുന്നതിൻ്റെ സ്ഥിതിവിശേഷം കണ്ടു. So with all that, we were in a position of strength, they were in a position of weakness. But suddenly, Operation Sindhur started and we suddenly found ourselves friendless. No country came forward to support us except Israel, despite this being...
Taiwan.
And Taiwan. Taiwan, of course, the national status remains a matter of question. China will not approve that. But despite the provocation being an act of terror, ഒരു വളരെ മൃഗീയമായ ഒരു തീവ്രവാദ പ്രവർത്തനത്തിൻ്റെ ഫലമായിരുന്നു കൂടി നമുക്ക് സുഹൃത്തുക്കളൊന്നും ഉണ്ടായില്ല. എന്നാൽ പാകിസ്ഥാൻ ആ സമയത്ത് തുർക്കി, അസർബൈജാനും കിട്ടിയെന്നുള്ള ഒരു കാര്യം കൂടി കാണണം. What happened? Did we fail? Did our diplomacy failure, sir? Can you have some insights on that?
Well, this is exactly the points I was wanting to make. I thought we'll cover the war. What I'm going to say is what happened after the war, which you pointed out. And I have an explanation for it. Because India is in a state of exceptionalism in the United Nations. I don't know how many of us understand it. It is not because we have no friends, but the issue of Jammu and Kashmir, and on the issue of terrorism, and thirdly on the issue of nuclear deterrence. On all these issues, we stand out of the UN umbrella. Not we do not respect them or we do not understand the global situation, etc. But because of the situation that emerged when we took this issue to the United Nations. Many people feel that it was Pandit Nehru's folly that was taken instead of settling the matter in 15 hours more that the generals wanted, and take it to the United Nations and make it an eternal issue. Why did Panditji do that? The answer is very clear. Here is this young, idealistic Prime Minister who talked about peace, and as a disciple of Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru could not have started his prime ministership with a war. Impossible. Because he is such an idealist that he would not have given the army the signal they were asking for. They said, 24 hours, we'll finish off this issue. But he decided that the UN has just been formed to settle disputes in the world, to stop wars. And if we do not go to the UN, who will? And India was a member of the UN before we became independent. We were allowed to sign the charter. So he honestly took it to the UN. And there we start all these issues. Because Mr. Nehru understood the UN as a kind of judicial body. Somebody who will look at the merits of the case and come to a judgment. This was very new. But we discovered then, and it has not changed today, that it is a political body, each one looking for its own opportunity in anything that comes to the Security Council, particularly the permanent members. So it became a plaything in the hands of the permanent members. Of course, there was a balance because Soviet Union was vetoing everything that India did not want. But in the process, some positions were formed, kind of, what shall we say, balanced position, or shall we say temporary position, etc. For example, if you look at the world map as approved by the UN, there is a line of control which is between Jammu and Kashmir and India. And below there is a clear sentence written in red letters that this is not yet recognized as an international border. This is a matter of dispute to be settled between the two countries. So what is our Kashmir position? There is nothing to be settled. The whole of Jammu and Kashmir, including POK, is ours. This is the position. And then what you should do is you should not go and try to influence people's opinion because we know that is written in stone. So you go, you send your best people. I think it was a big mistake, by internationalizing it. The purpose of Pakistan, why did they do this at this time, was simply to internationalize Jammu and Kashmir. And we walked into that trap and decided that we are on the right side, so we will send our best speakers out and they will go and convince them. What can these political leaders say which our ambassadors do not know? So I think it was a mistake with great intentions. And what happened after these visits? We did not get a single country to which we went was willing to say, you are right. You cannot, because any country will look up the UN map and say that you chaps have agreed to involve it, and why this war? Then terrorism. We have tried for many years to define terrorism in the UN. I personally presented a draft for an international convention on terrorism in the General Assembly. Immediately the whole world started saying this is an anti-Pakistan move by India. Because at that time, terrorism was only in South Asia and the Middle East. Terrorism came into the mind of the Westerners only with 9/11. And when 9/11, the same terrorists who attacked the plane or threatened to attack the plane were released by us from our jails a few weeks before that. Yeah. Even then they don't realize that this is a global issue. They think it is an India-Pakistan issue. That is why till today in the United Nations there is no definition of terrorism. Because one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. And we practiced it. Didn't we support the tigers in Sri Lanka? Were they terrorists or were they freedom fighters? Did we not support the freedom fighters of South Africa with weapons and in Namibia? So we have ourselves believed that there are two kinds of terrorists. But now we are saying there is only one kind of terrorism, and that is the terrorism perpetrated by Pakistan. So again, the UN members consider us to be an exceptionalist in this. So nobody will endorse it. And the third is the deterrence, nuclear deterrence. The whole world is afraid that one day India and Pakistan will burn up the world. Because we are both non-signatories to the NPT. We have a non-first use doctrine. Pakistan does not have that. Pakistan repeatedly says this is to multiply our military strength. We say this is only for peace. We will use it only if somebody uses it against us. Pakistan says no non-first use. We will use it. In that situation, then it is automatic that India will use it also. That is our doctrine. So on this also, people do not trust us. In all other words, we are cooperating, they are friendly, they know the land of Mahatma Gandhi, Gautama Buddha and all that. But if you go for a beauty contest with Pakistan, it will not work. So what we should have done was, we decided to attack because we had to wreak vengeance. We do the best way. Of course, the general will tell us how we did it. And sit back. What do you expect from the world? So these people don't realize. And then people who have no experience of internationalism or multilateral experience goes to the UN or goes to New York and talk about these things, and everybody is looking at you. They won't say anything. But they will say, oh, very good, very good, very good. And one more last point I want to make is, I was the Pakistan basher in the Indian mission in New York for 10 years. Whenever there is a Pakistan-India fight, you'll say, go and fight. So we go, you know the system in the UN. Anybody can say anything when you make a speech. But you cannot reply till the evening. You cannot raise your hand and say, I want to say this. They'll say, no. Prime Minister of Pakistan said his worst, but we cannot say anything. At the end of the day, they will ask, is there anyone here who wants to reply in right, speak in right of reply? Then you have to raise your hand. Pakistan Prime Minister has already spoken. So because a junior person must meet the Prime Minister, that was our policy. The ambassador or minister will not. So as the deputy permanent representative, I was the basher. So I'll make a 3-minute speech lashing out at Pakistan. Then my counterpart will lash out even worse, call us the sick man of India, the sick man of Asia, and all that. We enjoy this 3 minutes him, then 2 minutes me, he's 2 minutes, I get 1 minute, I get 1 minute. That's all. Not a single human being in the General Assembly has raised his hand and said, India is right or Pakistan is right. So we have totally hyphenated. And when they come outside, he'll say, oh, you did it very well, you smashed the Pakistanis. And I'm sure he will say that to the Pakistani diplomat. So this is the situation. Therefore, what we should do is to do what we can militarily, and now it is the doctrine. Now the doctrine is if there is a terrorist attack, it will be considered war. Of course, nobody will accept it internationally, but that is our doctrine. And therefore, go with it, deal with this situation as best as we can militarily. We don't talk to them because we have pledged that we will not talk to them unless they stop terrorism. So there is no possibility. But at the same time, we are talking. Secretly, we are all the time talking to the Pakistanis. Second, track 2 and track 3 and all that. So not that we don't know each other's position. So that is why the point that he mentioned, that we were at the top of the world before the Operation Sindhur. For absolutely different reasons, we are in difficulties. And when Prime Minister Narendra Modi went to Washington, he was the fourth world leader to be invited, not a US ally. So it was fourth leader to be invited by President Trump. And they had such a bromance, Trump pulling the chair for him and putting Narendra Modi there. And we're all very happy. Oh, we have such very good relations. Now, he invited the Pakistani Field Marshal for lunch in the White House, just to spite us. Why I say spite us? Because he did not like India saying US did not mediate. He tells to every world, I stopped these chaps from fighting. And our Prime Minister says to him, no, you did not. So who is right? And that is why an American general said, Pakistan is our closest ally in fighting terrorism. I mean, can you imagine? Anyway, so this is because of our exceptionalism. We are right, we are not wrong.
Yeah.
But internationalizing Jammu and Kashmir is not in our interest.
Thank you, Ambassador. I'll come to General Jacob. This is about the actual hostilities that took place. There's a fog of confusion over what happened. One reason is that the government has not let out much information to the public domain. Second, the media had gone hyper. If you imagine, a lot of untruths and half-truths were being parodied about. But we know certain facts. One is that this was a response to the Pahalgam attack, and this was much more different from the 2016 surgical strike and the 2019 post-Balakot massacre. Second, there were some restrictions. What are the military objectives that the military would have been given at that point? Because this was linked by the First Secretary sitting in Indonesia to the fact that we couldn't gain a tactical advantage. Did we achieve the objectives? And then finally, about the ceasefire, what was the feeling, the emotions? Of course, it's a very bold decision to stop a war going on. It's not easy. It's much more difficult than starting one. In 65, when Shastraji stopped, there was criticism. Even in 71, there were people who felt that we should have gone further to West Pakistan. So stopping is not easy. It's a very bold decision. But what were the thought process within the military establishment? Can you enlighten us on that, sir?
നന്ദി. ആദ്യമേ തന്നെ ഈ സബ്ജക്റ്റ് ഈ ഒരു ചർച്ചയ്ക്കായി എടുക്കാൻ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇത് കൊണ്ടുവന്ന വ്യക്തിക്കും ഇത് എടുക്കണമെന്ന് തീരുമാനിച്ച വ്യക്തികൾക്കും കോംപ്ലിമെൻറ്റ്സ് ചെയ്യൂ. ബിക്കോസ് ഒത്തിരി ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ആക്ച്വലി സിന്ധൂർ മറ്റുള്ള ഓപ്പറേഷൻസിനെ അപേക്ഷിച്ച് പബ്ലിക്കിന് ഒത്തിരി ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസാണ് കൂടുതൽ. കാര്യം തുടങ്ങിയപ്പം എല്ലാവർക്കും ഭയങ്കര ജോഷായിരുന്നു, ഇത് ഇപ്പം തീർക്കും എന്നൊക്കെ വെച്ചിട്ട്. പെട്ടെന്ന് ഒരു ദിവസം തേർഡ് ഡേ അത് നിന്നു. അപ്പം എന്തുകൊണ്ട് നിന്നു, എന്താണ് ചെയ്യാൻ പോയത്, ഇതൊക്കെ പബ്ലിക്കിൻ്റെ മനസ്സിലുള്ളൊരു ചോദ്യങ്ങളാണ്. അതിനെ ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു വേദിയിൽ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യാൻ കൊണ്ടുവന്ന തീരുമാനിച്ച ഈ ഇൻസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷന് ബിഗ് കോംപ്ലിമെൻറ്റ്സ്. ഓപ്പറേഷൻ സിന്ദൂർ എന്ന് പറയുമ്പം നമ്മളെല്ലാവരും പറയുന്ന മൾട്ടി മോഡൽ മിലിറ്ററി പ്രിസിഷൻ ഓപ്പറേഷൻ വിച്ച് ലിവറേജ് ഡിപ്ലോമാറ്റിക് ആൻഡ് പൊളിറ്റിക്കൽ ഒബ്ജക്റ്റീവ്സ് ആണ് എല്ലാവരും പറയുന്നത്. ഇത് പറഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ ഞാനിതിനെ ഐ ഡിഡ് സം റിസർച്ച്. താങ്കളുടെ ചോദ്യത്തിന് വരുന്നതിന് മുമ്പ് ഇത് പറയേണ്ടത് ആവശ്യമാണ്. ദെൻ ഐ റിയലൈസ് ദാറ്റ് എവറി ഓപ്പറേഷൻ ദാറ്റ് ഇന്ത്യ ഡിഡ്, അംബാസിഡർ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ 47 നമുക്ക് പോയി അത് കാശ്മീരിൽ തീർക്കാമായിരുന്നു. അത് യുണീക്കാണ്. 62 അതും ഒരു യുണീക്ക് ഓപ്പറേഷനാണ്. 65 സ്ട്രേഞ്ച്ലി യുണീക്ക് ഓപ്പറേഷൻ, അതും നമുക്ക് പലതും ചെയ്യാമായിരുന്നു, നമ്മൾ ചെയ്തില്ല. 71 ക്ലിയർ വിക്ടറി, അതും നമ്മൾ നിർത്തി. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞ് ഒത്തിരി ഓപ്പറേഷൻസ് നമ്മൾ ചെയ്തു എഗൻസ്റ്റ് ടെററിസം. എപ്പോഴും നമ്മൾ പറയും അടുത്ത പ്രാവശ്യം ഞങ്ങൾ നിങ്ങളെ വെറുതെ വിടത്തില്ല. ഓരോ ഓപ്പറേഷൻ നമ്മൾ പറയും വെറുതെ വിടത്തില്ല. ബട്ട് ടെററിസം കണ്ടിന്യൂസ് ടു ഹാപ്പൻ. സോ ദർ ഇസ് എ റീസൺ. അത് ഇറ്റ്സ് ആക്ച്വലി എ സീരീസ് ഓഫ് ആർട്ടിക്കിൾ ദാറ്റ് ഐ എം റൈറ്റിംഗ് നൗ. ഇറ്റ് വിൽ ബി പബ്ലിഷ്ഡ്. ബട്ട് താങ്കൾ ചോദിച്ച ഇത് ഇപ്പോഴത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ, നമ്മൾക്ക് ലോസ് വന്നോ, എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് നിർത്തിയത്, ടാക്ടിക്കൽ കൺസ്ട്രെയിൻറ്റ് എന്തായിരുന്നാണ്. നമ്മളൊരു ഗെയിമിന് ഇറങ്ങുമ്പം, ഒരു വേൾഡ് കപ്പ് ഫുട്ബോളിന് ഇറങ്ങുമ്പം 3-0 അല്ല എപ്പോഴും ഗെയിം, 3-2, 4-3 അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പെനാൽറ്റി ഷൂട്ട് ഔട്ട്. അപ്പം നഷ്ടങ്ങൾ രണ്ട് ഭാഗത്തും ഉണ്ടാകും. ഒരു അടിക്കിറങ്ങുമ്പം നഷ്ടങ്ങൾ സ്വാഭാവികമാണ്. പക്ഷെ അതിനെ മീഡിയ ഹൈപ്പ്, ഇന്ത്യക്ക് പോയോ ഇല്ലയോ അത് ചോദിക്കേണ്ട കാര്യമില്ല. ഫൈനലി മിലിറ്ററിലി നമ്മൾ ജയിച്ചു. ഇപ്പോൾ താങ്കൾ ചോദിച്ച ചോദ്യം എന്തുകൊണ്ട് നിർത്തി, ഇതെവിടെ പോകാമായിരുന്നു, നിർത്തിയില്ലെങ്കിൽ എന്തായിരുന്നു, നമ്മൾ എന്തിനാണ് തുടങ്ങിയത്, അതുകൂടെ നോക്കണം. ആക്ച്വലി നമ്മൾ ഓപ്പറേഷൻ സാധാരണ തുടങ്ങുന്നതിന് മുമ്പ് ഒരിക്കലും പൊളിറ്റിക്കൽ ഒബ്ജക്റ്റീവ് ഇന്ന് വരെ എങ്ങും പറഞ്ഞിട്ടില്ല. 71 പോയപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ബംഗ്ലാദേശ് ഉണ്ടാക്കുമെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞല്ല പോയത്. ഇറ്റ് ഹാപ്പൻ. സോ വി സെറ്റ് പൊളിറ്റിക്കൽ എയിമായി. ഇതിൻ്റെ പൊളിറ്റിക്കൽ എയിം നമ്മൾ ഡിക്ലെയർ ചെയ്തു, ടു ഡിഫീറ്റ് ടെററിസം. അംബാസിഡർ പറഞ്ഞു ടെററിസം ഇതുവരെ ഡിഫൈൻ ചെയ്തിട്ട് പോയില്ല നമ്മൾ. ഹൗ ഡു യു ഡിഫീറ്റ് സംതിങ് വിച്ച് ഇസ് നോട്ട് ബീൻ ഡിഫൈൻഡ്? നൗ വി സേ വി ഹാവ് ടേക്കൺ ഇൻഫ്രാസ്ട്രക്ചർ ഔട്ട് ഓഫ് ടെററിസം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ടെററിസത്തിൻ്റെ ഇൻഫ്രാസ്ട്രക്ചർ നമ്മൾ എടുത്തു. വാട്ട് ഇസ് ഇൻഫ്രാസ്ട്രക്ചർ? ഇന്നൊരു ബിൽഡിങ് പൂർത്തി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ വേറൊരു ബിൽഡിംഗ് ആവും. ഇന്ന് 30 മീറ്റർ താഴെ ഒരു ബിൽഡിങ് നാളെ 50 മീറ്റർ ആവും. സോ യു നീഡ് എ ബെറ്റർ അമ്യൂണേഷൻ ടു ക്യാച്ച്. സോ ടെററിസം cannot be quelled by military. Terrorism has to be taken care politically and diplomatically, not by military. Terrorist, ഭീകരനെ മിലിറ്ററിക്ക് ഹാൻഡിൽ ചെയ്യാം, ഭീകരതയെ ഡിപ്ലോമസിയും പൊളിറ്റീഷ്യൻസ് ഹാൻഡിൽ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. എന്തുകൊണ്ട് നിർത്തി? ആ മിലിറ്ററി അറ്റാഷെ അവിടെ പറഞ്ഞു ടാക്ടിക്കൽ ലിമിറ്റേഷൻസ്. ഒരു പക്ഷേ ഓപ്പറേഷൻ വിജയിലേക്ക് ഞാൻ ഇവരെ എല്ലാവരുടെയും ശ്രദ്ധ കൊണ്ടുപോകാം. ശ്രീ അടൽ ബിഹാരി വാജ്പേയി പറഞ്ഞൊരു സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെൻ്റ് ഉണ്ട്, എയർഫോഴ്സ് വിൽ നോട്ട് ക്രോസ്. കാര്യം എയർഫോഴ്സ് ക്രോസ് ചെയ്താൽ then it is an act of war. We have crossed the border. അതാണ് കൊവേർട്ട് ഓപ്പറേഷൻ്റെ ഒരു ഗുണം. കമാൻഡോസ് കൊവേർട്ട് ഓപ്പറേഷനിൽ പോകുമ്പം ദർ ഇസ് എ സെൻസ് ഓഫ് ഡിനയബിലിറ്റി, ഞങ്ങൾ വിട്ടിട്ടില്ല. പക്ഷേ ഇപ്പോഴത്തെ നമ്മളുടെ കണ്ടീഷൻ, നമ്മൾ ഒരു കല്ലെറിഞ്ഞാൽ പോലും വിളിച്ച് പറയും ഞങ്ങൾ കല്ലെറിഞ്ഞു 2 കലം പൊട്ടി. പണ്ടങ്ങനെയല്ല, നമ്മൾ പോവും, കല്ലെറിയും, കലം പൊട്ടിക്കും, തലയും വെട്ടും. പക്ഷേ ആരും അറിഞ്ഞില്ല. പാകിസ്ഥാൻ കരയുമായിരുന്നു, നമ്മൾ പറയും നമ്മളല്ല ചെയ്തതെന്ന്. ഇപ്പോഴങ്ങനെയല്ല, കാണണം. ഒപ്റ്റിക്സ് ഹസ് ബിക്കം ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ്, നറേറ്റീവ് ഹസ് ബിക്കം ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ്. പക്ഷേ ദ മൊമെൻറ്റ് യു ക്രോസ് ദി ബോർഡർ അതിൻ്റെ ഡൈനമിക്സ് മാറി. ഇറ്റ് ബിക്കംസ് ഓപ്പൺ വാർ. നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞു തുടങ്ങിയത് എന്താണ്? ഞങ്ങൾ പാകിസ്ഥാൻ മിലിറ്ററിക്കെതിരെയല്ല, പാകിസ്ഥാനെതിരെയല്ല, പാകിസ്ഥാനിലുള്ള ഭീകര സ്ട്രക്ചറിനെതിരെയാണ്. അത് നമ്മൾ ബോംബിട്ടു. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞ് പിന്നെന്താ ഉള്ളത്? നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞതെല്ലാം ചെയ്തു. ഇറ്റ് ഹാസ് ടു സ്റ്റോപ്പ്. ബട്ട് ദി പ്രോബ്ലം വാസ് വാർ ഹാസ് ബീൻ റീഡിഫൈൻഡ്. പണ്ട് നമ്മൾ കാണുന്ന യുദ്ധമല്ല ഇന്ന്. ഇന്ന് ഒരു പ്ലെയിൻ പോലും അവരുടേതോ നമ്മളുടെ ബോർഡർ ക്രോസ് ചെയ്തില്ല. എല്ലാ ഫയറിങ്ങും ഹാപ്പൻ ഫ്രം സ്റ്റാൻഡ് ഓഫ്. നമ്മളുടെ ഏരിയയിൽ നിന്നുകൊണ്ടാണ് അങ്ങോട്ട് ബോംബിട്ടത്. ഒന്നുകിൽ മിസൈൽ പോയി, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പ്ലെയിൻ ഫയർ ചെയ്തത്. അവരും അതുപോലെ തന്നെ. സോ വി ഹാവ് എ ന്യൂ സിസ്റ്റം ഓഫ് വാർ without crossing. Stand-off distance is very high, using the latest technology for pinpointing targets and killing. But അത് കഴിയുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾക്ക് 9 ടാർഗറ്റ് വെച്ചിരുന്നു, 7 വെച്ചു, 9 കിട്ടി, നിർത്തി. Then what else to do? അവർക്ക് ടാർഗറ്റ് ഇല്ലായിരുന്നു. There are no targets on terrorist targets in India. അവർക്കെന്താ ഉള്ളത്? നമ്മളുടെ മിലിറ്ററി ഇൻസ്റ്റലേഷൻസേ ഉള്ളൂ. അതവർ ടാർഗറ്റ് ചെയ്തു. നമ്മളുടെ സിവിലിയൻ ടാർഗറ്റ്സ് ചെയ്തു. ലക്കിലി ഫോർ അസ്, ഈ വന്ന മിക്കവാറും മിസൈൽസും ഓൾമോസ്റ്റ് ഓൾ ദി ഡ്രോൺസ് വേർ ന്യൂട്രലൈസ്ഡ്. അതുകൊണ്ട് നമുക്ക് വലിയ നഷ്ടങ്ങളൊന്നും വന്നില്ല. സപ്പോസ് വി ഹാഡ് റിറ്റാലിയേറ്റഡ്, അവർ നമ്മളുടെ സിവിൽ ഇൻസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷൻസിനോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മിലിറ്ററി ഇൻസ്റ്റലേഷൻസിനോ എതിരെ ചെയ്തതിന് നമ്മൾ മറുപടി കൊടുത്തായിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ ഇറ്റ് നൗ എസ്കലേറ്റ്സ്. നമ്മുടെ ഫോറിൻ മിനിസ്റ്റർ പറഞ്ഞത് ദിസ് തുടങ്ങി നോൺ എസ്കലേറ്ററി. പിന്നെയും നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞതാണ്. എല്ലായ്പ്പോഴും അടിക്കുമ്പോഴും പറഞ്ഞ് ഇത് തിരിച്ചടിക്കണ്ട, ഈ അടി കൊണ്ട് മിണ്ടാതിരുന്നാൽ ഇനി അടിക്കത്തില്ല. സോ ഫൈനലി വി സ്റ്റോപ്ഡ്. ദർ ഇസ് നോ അതർ വേ ബട്ട് ടു സ്റ്റോപ്പ്. പിന്നെ അംബാസിഡർ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ ട്രംപിന് പിന്നെ ആർക്കും എവിടെയും എന്തും പറയാവുന്നതുകൊണ്ട് അദ്ദേഹം പറഞ്ഞു ഞാനാ പറഞ്ഞതെന്ന്. സോ നൗ ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ഇമ്മെറ്റീരിയൽ ആക്ച്വലി. മിലിറ്ററി യുദ്ധം ജയിച്ചു.
No, one question, specific question. You are saying that aircraft did not cross this time. Then how about the perceived or the perception of loss of aircraft?
Excellent question, actually. Very beautiful
because
question.
That is something which government has not said it, but there are a lot of reports from a lot of sources. So deniability becomes extremely difficult for the government to say there is no loss of aircraft. So, but if it had happened, how it could have happened if we had not crossed that side? Did they come inside or? I would like you to explain it.
Actually, very beautiful question. എല്ലാവരും ചോദിക്കുന്നതായിരിക്കാം. ഇപ്പോഴത്തെ എല്ലാ വെപ്പൺ സിസ്റ്റവും നമ്മൾ ഓർക്കേണ്ടത് ഒന്ന് എക്സ്പ്ലെയിൻ ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ, ഇപ്പം നമ്മൾ തമ്മിൽ ഫൈറ്റ് ചെയ്യുക. ഞാനൊരു കല്ലെറിഞ്ഞു, താങ്കളൊരു കല്ലെറിഞ്ഞു. എനിക്ക് കൂടുതൽ ദൂരം എറിയാൻ നോക്കുമെങ്കിൽ ഞാൻ കുറച്ചുകൂടെ പുറകോട്ട് മാറി നിന്നെറിയും. താങ്കൾക്ക് എത്ര ഒക്കത്തിൽ താങ്കൾ മുമ്പോട്ട് വരണം. ബട്ട് യു ഡോണ്ട് ക്രോസ് യുവർ ബൗണ്ടറി. എന്നെ കല്ലെറിയാൻ വേണ്ടി താങ്കൾ നിങ്ങളുടെ ഭിത്തിക്ക് ഇപ്പുറത്ത് ബൗണ്ടറിക്ക് ഇപ്പുറത്ത് വരണ്ട, അവിടുന്ന് കല്ലെറിയാം. നമ്മളുടെ പ്ലെയിൻ ടേക്ക് ഓഫ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴോ പാകിസ്ഥാൻ്റെ പ്ലെയിൻ ടേക്ക് ഓഫ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴോ ഒരു മിസൈൽ ഫയർ ആകുമ്പോഴോ ഇമ്മീഡിയറ്റ്ലി അതിനെ നമുക്ക് ട്രാക്ക് ചെയ്യാം. ഈ ഇടയ്ക്ക് വന്നൊരു പേരാണ് കിൽ ചെയിൻ, ഇപ്പം ഫേമസ് ആയി. നമ്മളുടെ പ്ലെയിൻ ടേക്ക് ഓഫ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ദ മൊമെൻറ്റ് ടേക്ക് ഓഫ് ചെയ്യേണ്ട, അതിൻ്റെ എൻജിൻ സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്ത് അത് ഫയർ ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് റൺവേയിലോട്ട് വരുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് ATC കോൾ ഉണ്ടല്ലോ, വിക്ടർ 7-3 റെഡി ഫോർ ടേക്ക് ഓഫ്, അത് പിക്കപ്പായി. നൗ ചൈനീസ് സാറ്റലൈറ്റ് ഇസ് പിക്ഡ് ഇറ്റ് അപ്പ്. ചൈനീസ് സാറ്റലൈറ്റ് ഇസ് ആ റിയൽ ടൈമിൽ ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ടെല്ലിങ് പാകിസ്ഥാൻ ഒരു ജാഗ്വാർ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു റഫേൽ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു മിഗ് സ്റ്റാർട്ടായി. ലൈക്ലി പേലോഡ് ഇത് ആ പ്ലെയിനിൻ്റെ പേര് വെച്ച് അറിയാമല്ലോ പേലോഡ് എന്താ കൊണ്ടുപോകാൻ പോകുന്നതെന്ന്. സോ ദേ ഓൾറെഡി സ്പോട്ടഡ് ഇറ്റ്. അവിടെ നമ്മളെ ഇപ്പുറത്തുനിന്ന് നമ്മൾ ഫയർ ചെയ്യുന്നതിന് മുമ്പോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഫയർ ചെയ്തതിന് ശേഷമോ അവർ ദേ ഫയർ എ സ്റ്റാൻഡ് ഓഫ് മിസൈൽ. പ്രോബ്ലം ഈസ് ഒരിക്കലും നമ്മളുടെ പ്ലെയിന് അപ്രോച്ച് കമ്മിറ്റായി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ദെൻ യു ഹാവ് ടു ഡെലിവർ ദി പേലോഡ്. ആ സമയത്ത് യു ആർ വൾണറബിൾ. സോ മിസൈൽ ഹാഡ് ബ്ലോക്ക്ഡ് ഓൺ ആൻഡ് ഗോട്ട് ഓൺ. പ്ലെയിൻ പോയി എന്നുള്ളത് നമ്മളുടെ ഡിഫൻസ് അറ്റാഷി പറഞ്ഞു, എയർഫോഴ്സിൻ്റെ വക്താവ് പറഞ്ഞു, യുദ്ധമായാൽ നഷ്ടങ്ങൾ സംഭവിക്കാം. പക്ഷേ അത് ഇന്ന് വരെ ഒരു രാജ്യവും അവരുടെ കണക്ക് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടില്ലല്ലോ. ചൈനക്കാർ എന്തെങ്കിലും പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടോ അവരെത്ര പട്ടാളക്കാർ മരിച്ചെന്നിട്ട്? ഗൽവാനിൽ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടില്ല. USA ഇന്ന് വരെ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടോ എത്ര പ്ലെയിൻ അഫ്ഗാനിസ്ഥാനിൽ പോയിട്ടുണ്ടെന്ന്? റഷ്യ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടോ? ആരും പറയത്തില്ല. ലോസസ് ആർ പേഴ്സണൽ. ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് നോട്ട് ടു ബി ഡിസ്ക്ലോസ്ഡ്. ബട്ട് വെരി കറക്റ്റ്ലി സെഡ് വി ആർ എ ടാക്ടിക്കൽ സെറ്റ് ബാക്ക്, വി അഡ്രസ് ഇറ്റ്. പക്ഷെ അത് പറയേണ്ട കാര്യമില്ല. കാര്യം പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അവരുടെ വിക്ടറി അവർക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവും അതെങ്ങനെയാണ് കിട്ടിയെന്നുള്ളത്. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് പറയാതിരിക്കുന്നത്.
Sir, can I come back to you? Yeah. We were on the topic of Trump. So, ട്രംപിന് എന്തും പറയാമെന്നുള്ളൊരിതുണ്ട്. ആദ്യം സെഞ്ചുറീസ് ആയിട്ട് നൂറ്റാണ്ടുകളോളം ഇന്ത്യയും പാകിസ്ഥാനും നമ്മൾ വഴക്കാണെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് ഞാനാണ് സെറ്റിൽ ചെയ്തതെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞ് ഊണ് കഴിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി പാകിസ്ഥാൻ ഫീൽഡ് മാർഷലിനെ വിളിച്ചു. പക്ഷെ നമ്മൾ കഴിഞ്ഞ ഒരു 20 വർഷമായിട്ട് ഒരു ഡിസ്റ്റിങ്ക്റ്റ് പ്രോ US ടിൽട്ടുണ്ട്. 2004 തൊട്ട് ഒരു ജോർജ് ബുഷ് വന്നതിന് ആയ ശേഷം അത് വെറുതെ ആവുകയാണോ? കാരണം ഒരു ആപൽഘട്ടത്തിൽ നമ്മളെ സഹായിക്കുക മാത്രമല്ല നമ്മുടെ എതിരാളിയെ ഊണ് കഴിക്കാൻ വിളിക്കുന്ന ഒരു സുഹൃത്തിനെയാണോ നമുക്ക് വേണ്ടത്? അത് മാത്രമല്ല, ഇപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഏറ്റവും അധികം ആശ്രയിക്കുന്ന India-US ട്രേഡ് ടോക്സ് നടക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. അത് എവിടെ എത്താതെ നീളുകയാണ്. ധാരാളം സെക്ടേഴ്സിനെ പറ്റി വലിയ ആകാംക്ഷയുണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ വാട്ട് എക്സാക്ട്ലി ഹാവ് യു ഗോൺ റോങ്? ഓർ ഈ ട്രംപിൻ്റെ ഒരു പേഴ്സണൽ ഒരു ട്രാൻസാക്ഷണൽ രീതിയിൽ ചെയ്യുന്നൊരു വ്യക്തി അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ അപ്പോൾ കാണുന്ന താല്പര്യങ്ങൾക്ക് നിൽക്കാത്ത ആൾക്കാരെ വൈര്യം കാണിക്കുന്ന ആ ഒരു സ്വഭാവം കൊണ്ട് ഇതൊരു ടെമ്പററി സെറ്റ് ബാക്ക് ആണോ? ഓർ വിൽ ഇറ്റ് ഹാവ് ലോങ് ടേം ഇംപ്ലിക്കേഷൻസ്? കാരണം നമ്മൾ ഇത്രയും നാൾ ഇൻവെസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്ത കാര്യം മുഴുവൻ പോവുകയാണ്. അത് കാരണം ചൈനയുടെ ശത്രുത കൂടി നമുക്ക് കിട്ടിയെന്ന് വേണമെങ്കിൽ പറയാം. അപ്പോൾ അവിടെ നമുക്ക് പാളിപ്പോയോ? പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് ഡോക്ടർ ജയശങ്കർ US JS Americas when India-US civil nuclear deal was this thing. After that he was ambassador who brought Obama this side. That was his claim for. After that he became foreign secretary. സുജാത സിംഗിനെ നേരത്തെ റിട്ടയർ ചെയ്തായതാണ്. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് he became foreign minister. അപ്പം ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു ട്രാക്ക് റെക്കോർഡ് ഉള്ള ഒരാൾ ഇരിക്കുന്ന സമയത്ത് ഇത് സംഭവിക്കുന്നത് തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും നമ്മളൊരു പാളിച്ചയായിട്ട് കാണേണ്ടി വരുമോ?
No, I think it is temporary, I feel. Because Trump, with all his personal idiosyncrasies, he knows what India is. And he has to fight China. And that is where the Quad comes into it. If he comes to me for the meeting, Quad meeting in India, that will be a big development. Because we have been rather reluctant to put ourselves against China in the name of Quad. Because we know that we are the only ones with a common border with China. All the other three have no common borders. So the fight will have to be taken by us, and that he also knows. So his larger target is China. And in that he needs us, and he also needs Pakistan. Because Pakistan is the one which is a kind of emissary between, from 72 onwards, Nixon and Kissinger and so on. So in a larger context, President Trump cannot be hostile to India. And this tariff situation, I have a feeling that's a blessing in disguise, because I said that earlier. That is, it's this kind of jaw, as Winston Churchill said, jaw is better than war. So let him use his jaw and we'll also use our jaw, but we will not go for war. Because his ultimatum was, we'll put tariff on you, to China, to Russia. So we don't want to fight. So there is a certain method in his madness. And also some of his statements when it relates to trade, he has been very soft towards India. And also we understand that the trade pact is likely to be signed very soon. We have been hearing it for a long time. But except for agricultural goods, there is no problem about this partial agreement that we are negotiating. But we are trying to get the best out of it. But this hostility has come about out of sheer spite. Because he is saying to the whole world, I solved it. And the Prime Minister is saying, you did not solve it, we did not talk. I mean, it's very hostile. And also, I should not mention name. One of our envoys went to Washington and abused Mr. Trump personally. Did you know that? Well, I won't mention the name.
Okay.
He said, I have known 5 presidents, nothing more, nothing stranger than this man.
He was not an envoy. He was
No, he's an envoy. Unfortunately, he was an envoy.
Yes. He was got a lot of coverage.
And any president would have reacted to it. You go to his capital to convey a message to him, and first he says, this man is useless. He said that. The words are available. And then how do you expect him to kiss him or this? So, but it is in the larger geopolitical sense. United States wants us, and this is a temporary thing. He thinks he'll get a Nobel Prize, and we ruined it. Because Pakistan and Israel have recommended. I don't know whether there is any value for recommendation for Nobel Peace Prize. My son is a part of the Nobel Peace Prize establishment. These nominations do not matter. They already decided who will get the Nobel Prize. So that is the system there. But in that effort, when he has formal nominations for Nobel Prize, if India had said you also helped, that would have helped. You could have actually nominated him for Nobel Prize also. What do we lose?
Nothing to lose.
No loss.
Yeah.
No loss in all the games.
Yeah.
I think it is tactical and it will not be a permanent...
It's a temporary setback.
I think so.
So, what about China then? I'll come to the other aspect of it. Because when the hostilities started, China's first statement was a very balanced one. Both our neighbors, we call for de-escalation and all that. But after that, the reports that we have been getting now, particularly the statement of General Rahul Singh that China was providing the whole ISR services to Pakistan on a real-time basis. This is a level of support which was not seen in 65 when they threatened us and called Jagat Mehta for that dressing down. In 71 when they had just were held by Pakistan to shake hands with US, or in 98. Why have they become so actively hostile, or rather so active in their support to Pakistan this time around?
Would you like to talk about it? Yeah.
Actually, real-time information intelligence there is an exercise ongoing for the last 12 years between Pakistan and China. കഴിഞ്ഞ 12 വർഷമായിട്ട് അവരുമായിട്ടൊരു കണ്ടിന്യൂസ് എക്സസൈസാണ്. ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ അവരുടെ എയർഫോഴ്സ്, പാകിസ്ഥാൻ എയർഫോഴ്സും ചൈന എയർഫോഴ്സും തമ്മിലുള്ള വ്യത്യാസം, പാകിസ്ഥാൻ്റെ മുഖ്യമായിട്ടുള്ള എല്ലാം ചൈനയിൽ നിന്നാണ്. They have some American equipment. So China wants to be there, though they are physically kept separately.
But this time they use their missiles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now,
what's the difference?
പക്ഷേ അവരുടെ അതാ ഞാൻ ഈ കിൽ ചെയിൻ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞത്. Last 12 years, the intelligence, in fact, Pakistani officers are posted in China in their GHQ. And Chinese officers are posted in Pakistani GHQ for jointness. അതായത് ഈ ഭാഷയുടെ ഒക്കെ പ്രശ്നം വരാതിരിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി the officers are posted there. So, if you think China and Pakistan are different when it comes to India, no. ഇന്ത്യയുടെ കേസ് വരുമ്പം ചൈനയും പാകിസ്ഥാനും ഒന്നാണ്. Please don't see them as two different countries. It is two fronts. രണ്ട് ഫ്രണ്ടിലാണ്. പണ്ട് ബംഗ്ലാദേശും
സിംഗിൾ ഫ്രണ്ട് ആയി.
ഇപ്പം സിംഗിൾ ഫ്രണ്ട് ആയി, ബട്ട് ഡിസ്റ്റൻസ് വൈസ് കെപ്റ്റ് അവേ. They are one militarily. കാര്യം ചൈനയുടെ ഒത്തിരി എക്യുപ്മെൻറ്റ്സ്, വളരെയധികം എക്യുപ്മെൻറ്റ്സിൻ്റെ ട്രയൽ, അതിൻ്റെ ഫീൽഡ് ട്രയൽ, actually tried against India by Pakistan. അങ്ങനെ അവർക്ക് ഡേറ്റ കിട്ടുന്നത്.
അതാണ് ഞാൻ ചോദിക്കാൻ കാരണം ഈ 65-ലും 71-ലും 98-ലൊക്കെ ഇന്ത്യയോട് ചൈനയ്ക്ക് ശത്രുതയുണ്ട്, പാകിസ്ഥാനായിട്ട് അടുപ്പമുണ്ട്. ഇപ്രാവശ്യം എന്തുകൊണ്ട് ഇത്രയും ആക്റ്റീവായിട്ട് അന്നൊന്നും കൊടുക്കാത്ത ഈ ISR സപ്പോർട്ട് പോലെയുള്ള സപ്പോർട്ട് അന്ന് കൊടുത്തിരുന്നില്ല? ISR സപ്പോർട്ട് ഇസ് ഈക്വൽ ടു സപ്പോർട്ട് ഇൻ വാർ ടൈംസ്. എൻ്റെ ഒരു ചോദ്യം, ഞാൻ അതാണ് സാർ ആദ്യം അംബാസഡറോട് ചോദിച്ചത്. കാരണം 2008-ന് ശേഷം, അതായത് നമ്മൾ അമേരിക്കയായിട്ട് ക്ലോസ് ആയിട്ട് സിവിൽ ന്യൂക്ലിയർ ട്രീറ്റി ഒപ്പുവെച്ചതിന് ശേഷമാണ് ബോർഡർ ക്ലാഷസ് രണ്ടാമത് തുടങ്ങുന്നത്. ഫ്രം
ലഡാക്ക്.
അതെ, ലഡാക്ക്. അതിനു മുമ്പ് ഒരു 86-ന് അരുണാചൽ കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് ബോർഡർ വാസ് ക്വയറ്റ് ഓൾ ദീസ് ഇയേഴ്സ്. അപ്പോൾ അത് കഴിഞ്ഞ് ഷീ ജിൻപിങ് വന്നേ പിന്നെ ഹീസ് എ സ്ട്രോങ്ങർ ലീഡർ. അപ്പോൾ ഈ അമേരിക്കയായിട്ടുള്ള അടുപ്പം കൊണ്ടാണോ ചൈന കൂടുതൽ പാകിസ്ഥാനിനോട് ഒരു ഹാസ് എംബ്രേസ് ബിക്കം വാമർ ആഫ്റ്റർ വി ലീൻ ടുവേർഡ്സ് അമേരിക്ക? അങ്ങനെ പറയാൻ സാധിക്കുമോ? ആ ഒരു ലാർജർ ഒരു സ്ട്രാറ്റജിക് പെർസ്പെക്റ്റീവിൽ അങ്ങനെ പറയാൻ സാധിക്കുമോ?
No, long term, China will be our biggest rival and threat. That's established. Because this border situation can never be resolved. It may take centuries. So, and they believe that, you think in terms of centuries, not in terms of 1 year or 2 years. How many times the representatives have met? 28 times or whatever. Nothing has happened. They have not even started discussing how to discuss. That is how the Chinese deal with it. But the Chinese do not believe in friendship with India. They want to dominate India. And that is what they did in 62. And after that, whatever friendship statements they are made, they see the world as a pyramid with China on top of it. And we are next to that below. And so they think that they already dominated us and they would like to keep us there. They do not want US support to India to grow to that extent. And therefore they will deal with the Americans, because Americans are also concerned about Chinese power. And therefore they will hold the US at bay, but at the same time keep their friendship. And with China, they will manage with things we can agree. For example, environment. We are on the same page. And similarly about trade, we are on the same page. So where we have cooperation, China has been cooperating with us. But eventually, it is China who is going to be our biggest enemy in the future. And this is an indication of that they are willing to even fight physically against India.
So when you look at it, fighting Pakistan, okay, if it's a conventional war, forget the nuclear thing, we may have an advantage. But with China, we don't have that advantage. And if China and Pakistan come together, we are a distinct disadvantage.
Yeah.
So how will you cope with it?
Actually,
militarily?
you're missing out Bangladesh.
Okay. That's a very recent new development.
ഞാൻ വായിക്കുമായിരുന്നു, നമ്മൾ സൃഷ്ടിച്ച ഒരു രാജ്യം, ഒന്നുമില്ലായ്മയിൽ നിന്ന് കൊണ്ടുവന്ന രാജ്യത്ത് നമ്മൾ വിചാരിച്ചു നമ്മളുടേതാകുമെന്ന്. അവർ ജസ്റ്റ് ടേൺ ഔട്ട് ആൻഡ് സ്റ്റാബ്ഡ് us. സോ നമുക്ക് രണ്ടല്ല. ഇപ്പം ഒരു ഹ്യൂജ് ഫ്രണ്ട്, അവർ നോർത്തേൺ ഫ്രണ്ട് എക്സ്റ്റെൻസ് ഫ്രം ഗുജറാത്ത് right up to Arunachal. It's one enemy with 3 different faces. Burma is not quiet, but then it's Burma ke China ke Burma kude varavalo. So we are actually vulnerable. So the best way forward is രണ്ട് പോളിസി. ഒന്ന്, നമുക്ക് ഈ പ്രശ്നം നമുക്ക് എന്തോ വേണ്ടെന്ന് നമുക്കറിയാൻ വയ്യ. ആക്ച്വലി ഇന്ത്യക്ക്, ഐ എം സോറി സേയിങ് ഇറ്റ്, നമ്മൾ ഇന്ന് പറയും എനിക്കിത് വേണം, നാളെ പറയും അതല്ല. വി ഹാവ് നോട്ട് ഹാഡ് എ കോജൻറ്റ് തോട്ട് പൊളിറ്റിക്കൽ പ്രോസസ്. കാര്യം ഡിപ്ലോമസിയോ മിലിറ്ററിയോ ഈസ് എ ഔട്ട്ഫ്ലോ ഓഫ് ദി പൊളിറ്റിക്കൽ തോട്ട് പ്രോസസ്. അംബാസിഡർ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ നെഹ്റു തോട്ട് UN, he romanticized freedom, he romanticized independence. He thought UN will be something big and it will take care. It didn't happen. So, political thought process എന്താണെന്ന് നമ്മൾ ആദ്യമേ തീരുമാനിക്കണം. താങ്കൾ ചോദിച്ചത്, ചൈന ഈസ് എ ഡെഡ്ലി എനിമി. ഹി ഹാസ് ഗോട്ട് നോ കോംസ്. അവിടെ അകത്ത് പ്രശ്നങ്ങൾ നടക്കുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിലും ദാറ്റ് വിൽ നോട്ട് ഡെറ്റർ ഹിം ഫ്രം ഹാവിങ് അസ്. ഇത് നമ്മൾ മിലിറ്ററി കേപ്പബിലിറ്റീസ് ബിൽഡപ്പ് ചെയ്യാതെ, എത്ര ഉറച്ചത്തിൽ പറഞ്ഞാലും മസിലില്ലെങ്കിൽ ആരും തട്ടിയിട്ട് പോകും. സോ യുവർ ബിൽഡ്, യുവർ സ്ട്രെങ്ത് മാറ്റേഴ്സ്. നമ്മളുടെ എക്കണോമിയുടെ പ്രശ്നം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്, ഒരു ദിവസം സർക്കാർ പറയും ഇതില്ല, നമുക്ക് ആൾക്കാരെ എല്ലാം ഉദ്ധരിക്കണം, വി ഷുഡ് ഹാവ് ഗ്രോത്ത്. ബട്ട് ഗ്രോത്ത് വിത്തൗട്ട് സ്ട്രെങ്ത് ഈസ് നോ ഗ്രോത്ത്. കൂണ് മുളയ്ക്കുന്ന പോലെ ഉള്ളൂ. മഴയ്ക്ക് കൂണ് വരും, വെയിൽ വരുമ്പം കൂണ് പോകും. അതാണ് നമുക്ക് സംഭവിക്കുന്നത്. വി ഹാവ് ടു ഹാവ് എ ലോങ് ടേം പോളിസി ഓഫ് ബീങ് ഏബിൾ ടു റീച്ച് ഫാർ ദി സ്റ്റാൻഡ് ഓഫ് മിസൈൽസും അതും. പിന്നെ അദ്ദേഹം പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ ഡിറ്ററൻസ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ സെക്കൻഡ് സ്ട്രൈക്ക് കേപ്പബിലിറ്റി നമുക്കുണ്ട്. ബട്ട് ബീങ് ടോൾഡ് ദാറ്റ് വി വിൽ സ്ട്രൈക്ക്, നമ്മളുടെ നോൺ ഫസ്റ്റ് യൂസ് സാറ് തോന്നുന്നുണ്ടോ ആവശ്യമുണ്ടായിരുന്നോ? നമ്മളുടെ ദർ വാസ് നോ നീഡ്. വി ആർ എ നോൺ സിഗ്നേറ്ററി. പാകിസ്ഥാൻ ഇസ് നോൺ സിഗ്നേറ്ററി. ചൈന ഹാസ് നോട്ട് സെഡ് നോൺ ഫസ്റ്റ് യൂസ്. നമ്മളുടെ മുമ്പിൽ നിൽക്കുന്ന 3 പേരും നോൺ ഫസ്റ്റ് യൂസ് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടില്ല. നമ്മൾ തന്നെ പറയുന്നത്. സോ വി ഹാവ് ഗിവൺ അവർ സെൽസ്. ബട്ട് ദെൻ ദ ബ്യൂട്ടി ഓഫ് ഓൾ ദീസ് പൊളിറ്റിക്കൽ പ്രോസസ്, ഇന്ന് പറഞ്ഞത് നാളെ എനിക്ക് വേണ്ടെന്ന് പറയാം. സോ വൺ ലീഡർ മസ്റ്റ് സേ വി ആർ സ്ക്രാപ്പിംഗ് ഓൾ ദിസ്, യു ഷോ യുവർ ഫേസ്, വിൽ ഹിറ്റ് യു. അങ്ങനൊരു പേടി വന്നാൽ ചൈനയ്ക്കറിയാം ഇവിടുത്തെ പൊളിറ്റിക്കൽ ഇഷ്യൂ. ചൈന ഒന്ന് തല്ലി കഴിയുമ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ ആൾക്കാർ ബഹളം ഉണ്ടാക്കും. ഇന്ന് അടി കൊള്ളുന്നവർ നാളെ ഇപ്പുറത്തിരിക്കുമ്പം അവർ ബഹളം ഉണ്ടാക്കും. എല്ലാവരും വി ആർ ഡൂയിങ് ദാറ്റ്. ചൈനയ്ക്കെതിരെ ഒരു മിലിറ്ററി പോളിസി വേണമെന്ന് കുറച്ച് നാൾ കൊണ്ട് മിലിറ്ററി പറയുന്നുണ്ട്. പക്ഷേ എക്കണോമിക് കണ്ടീഷൻസിൻ്റെ അതായിരിക്കാം. ബട്ട് നൗ ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ബീങ് റിയലൈസ്ഡ് ദാറ്റ് വി ഷുഡ് ഹാവ് ഇറ്റ്. ഇന്നലെ ഞാൻ വായിച്ചു, വി ആർ നൗ ഗോയിങ് ഫോർ അമേരിക്കയുടെ ഒരു ബോംബില്ലേ, bunker buster. We are now going for a bunker buster. Should be ready in another 3 years.
The one you used in Iran.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. So
no, one other point. See, our best friends are Russia. All said and done, right?
yeah.
But our best friend is the friend of our worst enemy. The agreement of 2022 is an all-out military alliance.
Yes.
So between China and Russia.
Yeah.
So we may be friendly with Russia, Russia may be helping us, and also they are weaker now after the war. So that is also a weak point with us. Russia has never supported us, even in 1962. They said one is a brother and the other is a friend. We know who is the brother and who is the friend. So, and that is another weakness that Russia's fall is also a major factor in our future relations. Yes. In fact, Americans, at least Trump, when he started, he wanted to use Russia to destroy China, like they used China to destroy the Soviet Union. He wanted to do a Nixon on Russia.
Reverse Nixon.
But it didn't work. The Putin did not accept.
Yeah,
did not bite that bait. So that is also a major disadvantage for us. This S-400, we haven't got the delivery even now.
Yeah.
So
we have a real challenge in front. Somebody has, I'm sure, ആൾക്കാർ ഇരുന്ന് ഡ്രോയിങ് ബോർഡിൽ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ടായിരിക്കാം എന്താണ് ചെയ്യേണ്ടതെന്നുള്ളത്.
Sir, now there are 2 final steps which Prime Minister announced. One is an act of terror is an act of war, which is a very huge change in our strategy. Second, Indus Water Treaty. നമ്മൾ വെള്ളം കൊടുക്കില്ല എന്ന് വളരെ അസന്നിഗ്ധമായിട്ട് പറയുന്നു. ഇത് രണ്ടും നടപ്പാക്കാൻ സാധിക്കുമോ? കാരണം ഒന്ന് ആക്ട് ഓഫ് ടെറർ ആക്ട് ഓഫ് വാർ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഇനിയും പാകിസ്ഥാൻ ഒരു ടെറർ ഫാക്ടറിയാണ്. അവരെവിടെയെങ്കിലുമൊക്കെ ടെറർ കൊണ്ടുവരും, അപ്പോഴെല്ലാം നമ്മൾ യുദ്ധത്തിന് പോകുമോ? ഈ സിറ്റുവേഷൻ കൂടി, ഈ സ്ട്രാറ്റജിക് സിറ്റുവേഷൻ കൂടി, കാരണം ചൈന അവർ ഒന്നാണെന്നുള്ള ബംഗ്ലാദേശും ചിലപ്പോൾ സഹായിച്ചു എന്ന് പറയുന്നൊരു സിറ്റുവേഷനിൽ യുദ്ധത്തിന് പോകുന്ന യുക്തിയാവുമോ? 2, ഇപ്പോൾ പാകിസ്ഥാനിൽ കുറച്ച് പേര് ഒരു മിലിറ്ററി പൊളിറ്റിക്കൽ ഇൻ്റലിജൻസ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ റിലീജിയസ് ഒരു കോംപ്ലക്സ് ആണ് ഇന്ത്യക്കെതിരെ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. പക്ഷെ വെള്ളം കൊടുക്കാതായി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ സാധാരണ ജനങ്ങൾ ഇന്ത്യക്കെതിരെ ആവില്ലേ? അത് ശരിയായിട്ടുള്ളൊരു കാര്യമാണോ? ലോങ് ടേം പെർസ്പെക്റ്റീവിൽ ഇത് രണ്ടും നമ്മൾ നടപ്പിലാക്കുന്ന ബുദ്ധിയായിരിക്കുമോ?
First about the Indus Water Treaty. I have been in the service long enough to know what exactly are the problems with this treaty. Because every time there was a conflict, the first thing we do is to call a meeting of the Indus Water Treaty. So it's not new. And many studies have been done, how to do it, etc. It is impossible. You have to rebuild another dam in order to divert waters. And then what is the problem? It is a World Bank project. They are not going to let you do whatever you want.
But we lost out. They had gone to the World Bank and they have given the tribunal has given something against us, if I am not wrong.
Yeah, I know. They are against any revision of the treaty.
Exactly.
So, and again, as you said, the sentimental thing, we are denying water to the people of Pakistan. That will react badly.
That will react badly
here also. And the other thing was about the conflict.
Act of terror being act of war.
But that will not be recognized by others. Nobody will say, yes, an act of terror is an act of war. But Americans did not. I mean, Americans did that
They do it.
without any doctrine.
They do it.
But 30 years later, they are still there. So
No,
how
but
did-
as you said, sir, you said that we do it and say yes, it was an act of terror, so we retaliated and we stand back.
That's what I said. You won't get a beauty contest.
Yes, sir. I take that point. But then, given this situation where the China and Pakistan are together and it comes
And
to...
with the Russia lurking behind.
So, would it be wise to implement it every time? Will there be setbacks to our military security complex, sir?
നമ്മുടെ പ്രശ്നം we are looking for validation from people. Why are we looking for validation from the world? നമുക്ക് അടി കൊള്ളണമെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ അടി കൊടുക്കണം. അത് കുറച്ച് നഷ്ടം വരും, കുറച്ച് പ്രശ്നങ്ങൾ വരും, ചിലപ്പം കൈ പോവും, കാല് പോവും, ദാറ്റ്സ് ഓക്കെ. ബട്ട് ഡിസൈഡ് ചെയ്യണം. ഞാൻ ലുക്ക് അറ്റ് പാകിസ്ഥാൻ. ഒരു യുദ്ധം തോറ്റ രാജ്യത്തിൻ്റെ ആർമി ചീഫിനെ തോറ്റ് കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പം അവരെല്ലാം കൂടെ കൂട്ടി അല്ലെ ഫീൽഡ് മാർഷലാക്കി. Can you imagine this happening in any other part of the world? So Pakistan is a senseless country. അവർ ഒരിക്കലും they will never stop terrorism because that is their way of life. അവരുടെ എക്കണോമി അതാ. യു ലുക്ക് അറ്റ് കന്ദഹാർ, അവിടുന്ന് വരുന്ന കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ഈ തോക്കും എല്ലാം നേരെ വരുന്നത് ഇൻടു പാകിസ്ഥാൻ. കന്ദഹാർ ഈസ് എ കൺഡ്യൂട്ട് ടു പാകിസ്ഥാൻ. ദേ നീഡ് വെപ്പൺസ്. ടെററിസം ഇല്ലാതെ പാകിസ്ഥാൻ is of no relevance to any country in the world. That is the relevance. അവർ പാകിസ്ഥാൻ, they send terrorists against India, they send terrorists to Afghanistan, they send terrorists to Syria, they send terrorists to Iraq. എവിടെ ടെററിസ്റ്റിന് ആവശ്യമുണ്ടോ, take a phone, call Pakistan, they will send terrorists. So for them, that is their economy. It can't stop. നമുക്ക് we have to find ways. Once and for all, it will never happen. അവർ ഇങ്ങോട്ടിടുമ്പോൾ അടി കൊള്ളും, നല്ല അടി കൊള്ളും എന്നവർക്ക് അറിഞ്ഞാൽ പെതുക്കെ നിൽക്കും. ബട്ട് ഇറ്റ് കണ്ടിന്യൂ ടു ഹാപ്പൻ. അംബാസഡർ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ കാശ്മീർ ഇഷ്യൂ, അറ്റ്ലീസ്റ്റ് നോട്ട് ഇൻ മൈ ലൈഫ് ടൈം ഇറ്റ് വിൽ സീ an end. China border issue, it is not in my lifetime. I can think
Not
of
your
an
children's lifetime.
So we don't know. So what is important is these adversaries to know that threshold you cross, you will be hit. But now what's happened is, if you look at 16th Uri attack, Balakot attack, and Pelgam attack, we have scaled up our ida. ആദ്യമേ covert action ആയിരുന്നു, പിന്നെ എയർഫോഴ്സ് പോയി ഇട്ടു. Now we are doing missile. It is now escalating. Slowly we are going up the ladder, on the escalation ladder.
And also we are using our own indigenous weapons.
Yes,
That's
that
another
is the best part.
major development.
We are now using, നമുക്ക് നമ്മളുടെ ടെസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ, ഇപ്പോൾ അഗ്നിയൊക്കെ ശരിക്കും ടെസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ ഒത്തു. പൃഥ്വി ശരിക്കും ടെസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്തു, ചുമ്മാതെ റേഞ്ചിലല്ല. We actually tested it on the actual target. So slowly and slowly, if you build up muscle, the military muscle and the diplomatic brain. See, actually, cerebral muscle, both you need. So, unfortunately, it is controlled by politicians for very parochial, very small time requirement. That is where it goes wrong. Why America gains or China gains, they have long-term political goals. Hello, sir.
The deep state. The
deep state. For us, it is very short-lived.
We don't have a deep state.
Sir, do you agree? You have been a diplomat for so many years. Do you think that our goals
That's
are
what I'm saying. I am a failed diplomat.
No, sir, I'll just one last question from my side before we open to this thing to both of you. Is that, do you see the need for a reset? We are in a troubled neighborhood. We say it is not our fault, but our relation with Bangladesh is bad. It's Nepal, it is not too good. We don't know where we stand with Myanmar, and with China and Pakistan, it is downright. One is downright hostile, the other is close to hostility. And Russia is, our friend, is in a weak position. Then we also know that USA, our new friend, is not helping us. So don't we need a reset of this thing? A more dynamic or a situation in which we can be sure that at least some people will be helping us, and we have, or we avoid these situations.
No, we are constantly looking for solutions, not that we are averse to it. We have tried to build good relations with everyone, United States being the most significant. Russia, we are very, very close. But in this, as the General said, this Pakistan matrix, we don't fit in with anybody else. And therefore, and they all know Pakistan is weak and then India can probably overtake it. But they don't want that to happen, then India becomes the dominant power in this region. That I don't think anybody wants it.
Nobody wants India to grow.
Yeah, exactly.
The
And
bargaining
therefore,
chip changes.
we will have more of these. I cannot see a clear solution overnight. It is a constant, Myanmar, for example. Why did we support the junta? It was irrational. Aung San Suu Kyi is our own daughter.
Democrat.
But we supported the junta. So such things we have tried. And Bangladesh, what could we have done?
Putting all eggs in the one basket, particularly of an individual. Now it's only one individual who is standing in the way. Is that really required? Do you think that our relation was with Sheikh Hasina or with the Bangladesh as a nation or with the Bangla people?
No, we overdid the Sheikh Hasina perhaps.
That's
Even when there was trouble, we didn't
yes,
look at
we
it.
didn't do so.
No, there are many things we could have done.
Sir.
We could have kept the 93,000 Pakistani soldiers. So,
Hindsight is the best sight.
Sir,
I think it will be, I don't think, it will be a very clear, cut and dry solution. We'll have to try everything. We support the Baluchis. So some give some trouble to Pakistanis. So whatever is possible we are doing. But an overall strategy is to be peaceful and try to build friendships.
So one last question from my side to you. Now, you said about the changing methods of warfare. You don't have to use a conventional methods like army going in or the ships going or the air force going in. How future ready are we as a armed force for these new methods of combat?
Actually, Army, I would say Army means Army, Navy, Air Force. That's a very beautiful system of looking forward. But the problem is money. പൈസയാണ് പ്രശ്നം. അപ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് അമേരിക്കയ്ക്കോ ചൈനയ്ക്കോ മണി ഈസ് നോ പ്രോബ്ലം ഫോർ ദെയർ റിസർച്ച്.
Military.
R&D, മിലിറ്ററി R&Dക്ക് പ്രശ്നമില്ല. നമുക്ക് വി ഹാവ് 170 crore പീപ്പിൾ, പിന്നെ ഒത്തിരി പൈസ അല്ലാതെ കൊടുക്കണം. സോ അതാണ് നമുക്ക് വി ഹാവ് എ ഫ്യൂച്ചറിസ്റ്റിക് മൈൻഡ്. ബട്ട് ഡ്രീംസ് സ്വപ്നമൊക്കെ കാണാം. ബട്ട് അത് നടക്കണമെങ്കിൽ പേഴ്സണൽ പൈസ വേണം.
So we need to say some more resource allocation to the military, especially in the light of this development.
Now it is happening. Like I am part of a startup which is doing other Make in India. We supply thermal images. Unfortunately, my competition is from Chinese-made items. Mine is indigenous. It's about 7 to 8 lakhs a piece. A China piece comes at 3 lakhs. So I said, no way. So that's there. There is an issue, but it will build up later on.
Thank you, sir. I'll just conclude my questions now. I'm sure there will be some questions from the audience if anyone is interested in asking questions, because it's a topic of contemporary relevance. A lot of interest is there and we have two eminent personalities. ആർക്കെങ്കിലും എന്തെങ്കിലും ചോദിക്കാനുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ കൈ പൊന്തിക്കുക, പേര് പറയുക, ചോദിക്കുക. അംബാസഡറുണ്ട്, ജനറലുണ്ട്. ഇതിനേക്കാട്ടിലും കൂടുതൽ പരിണിതപ്രജ്ഞനായ വ്യക്തികളെ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് കിട്ടില്ല നിങ്ങളുടെ സംശയങ്ങൾ ചോദിക്കാനായിട്ട്. കുറച്ച് കാര്യങ്ങൾ ഇപ്പോൾ സംസാരിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞ് ഇതിനപ്പുറത്തേക്ക് എന്തെങ്കിലും ചോദ്യങ്ങളുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ചോദിക്കാനുള്ള ഒരു അവസരമാണിത്.
ഞാനൊരു കാര്യം ആഡ് ചെയ്തോട്ടെ.
സർ,
ഈ വാർത്താ സമ്മേളനങ്ങൾ നടക്കുമ്പോൾ അംബാസിഡർ ഞാനുമൊക്കെ പാനലിൽ പോകും. അത് കഴിയുമ്പോൾ നമ്മളുടെ ഫേസ്ബുക്കിൻ്റെ ആ സോഷ്യൽ മീഡിയയിലൊക്കെ വന്ന് ഒത്തിരി തെറി വിളിച്ചൊക്കെ എഴുതുന്ന ആൾക്കാരുണ്ട്. ഒത്തിരി ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ്. അവർ വിചാരിക്കുന്ന പോലെ എന്താ നമ്മൾ പറയാത്തതെന്ന്. എന്തെങ്കിലുമൊക്കെ ചോദ്യങ്ങൾ നിങ്ങളുടെ മനസ്സിലുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഇപ്പോൾ ചോദിച്ചാൽ, he is a veteran in diplomacy. He can tell you something. I can tell you about army.
About these comments that appear in comments about what you say and what I say, they feel very liberated.
Yes.
So they use very rough language, not because they are convinced, but
But
they feel that they are superior because they are writing there and nobody is to stop them. So I ignore them.
ആദ്യമൊക്കെ വിഷമം വരുമായിരുന്നു.
They use abusive language also.
Yeah, they use that. I know that. Social media gives everyone a feeling of total freedom and liberty to throw stones and mud.
He is the emperor who can. അത് സർപ്രൈസിങ്. അവിടെ ഒരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ഉണ്ട്. താങ്കൾ എന്നിട്ട്
സാർ എനിക്കൊന്ന് സാർ പേര് പറയുക എന്നിട്ട് ചോദ്യം ചോദിക്കുക.
Sir, my name is Vikraman Pillai. I am from കൊല്ലം. സാറിനോട് എനിക്ക് ചോദിക്കാനുള്ളത്, ഈ പാകിസ്ഥാനും ഇന്ത്യയുമായിട്ടുള്ള വിഷയത്തിൽ ഇപ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് ഒരുപാട് നാളത്തെ എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് ഉണ്ട് ഈ പാകിസ്ഥാനികളുമായിട്ടൊക്കെ ഇടപെട്ടതിൽ. അപ്പം അവിടെയുള്ള പാകിസ്ഥാനി യങ്സ്റ്റേഴ്സ് പോലും പറയുന്നത് ഞങ്ങളെ പഠിപ്പിക്കുന്നത് അവരുടെ പാഠം ഒന്നെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ പാഠം 1 എനിമീസ്. അപ്പോൾ അവിടെ പഠിപ്പിക്കുന്നത് ഇന്ത്യ ഈസ് അവർ എനിമീസ്, ഹൗ ടു ഡിസ്ട്രോയ് ഇന്ത്യ. അതാണ് അവരെ അവിടെ മോട്ടിവേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്, അവിടെ പഠിപ്പിക്കുന്നത്. പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട വിഷയം അതാണ്. ഓരോ പാകിസ്ഥാനിയുടെയും മനസ്സിൽ കുത്തിവച്ചിരിക്കുന്ന വിഷം അതുതന്നെയാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ഇങ്ങനെയൊക്കെയുള്ള ഒരു രീതിയിൽ വരുമ്പോൾ പിന്നെ എനിക്ക് ചോദിക്കാനുള്ളത്, നമ്മൾ എന്തിനാണ് പാകിസ്ഥാനുമായിട്ടൊരു വാർ തുടങ്ങുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ എന്തിനാണ് അവർക്ക് എക്സ്ക്യൂസ് കൊടുക്കുന്നത്? ഒരു തരത്തിൽ പറഞ്ഞ് അവരെ ബ്ലാസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്ത്, നല്ല രീതിയിൽ ബ്ലാസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്ത്, ഇപ്പം നമ്മൾ എടുത്ത ഇനിഷ്യേറ്റീവ് നല്ലതാണ്, നമ്മൾ പെട്ടെന്ന് തന്നെ അത് നിർത്തുകയും ചെയ്തു. പക്ഷേ ഇൻസ്റ്റെഡ് ഓഫ് ഡൂയിങ് ദാറ്റ് ഒരു പ്രാവശ്യം നല്ലതുപോലെ ബ്ലാസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അവർ നമ്മുടെ മസിൽ പവർ മനസ്സിലാക്കും. അപ്പോൾ കുറേയൊക്കെ അവർ ഈ ടെററിസ്റ്റിനെ പിന്നെ ഒതുക്കി വെക്കാനൊക്കെ പരിശ്രമിക്കത്തില്ലേ? നമ്മൾ എന്തിനാണ് അവർക്കൊരു എക്സ്ക്യൂസ് കൊടുക്കുന്നത്?
സർ, ഇത് വളരെ പലരുടെയും മനസ്സിലുള്ള ചോദ്യമാണ്. ഞാനും ചോദിച്ചിരുന്നു, പക്ഷേ
അത് പാകിസ്ഥാൻ്റെ ഒരു സൈക്കിയാണ്. കാരണം ഒരു മിലിറ്ററി റിലീജിയസ് ഡിക്റ്റേറ്റർഷിപ്പാണ്. മനസ്സിലായില്ലേ? ഇപ്പം നമ്മുടെ ടെക്സ്റ്റ് ബുക്കിൽ പാകിസ്ഥാനെ പറ്റി എഴുതിയാൽ ആദ്യത്തെ ഒബ്ജക്ഷൻ വിൽ കം ഫ്രം ഹിയർ, നോട്ട് ഫ്രം പാകിസ്ഥാൻ. Suppose we say something about Pakistan not very pleasing. We have 100 million Muslims in our country. They will make it into a religious issue and there will be bloodshed here. So we cannot do what they are doing. And we can only rationalize, we can reason out or try to battle with them. But the psychological warfare that they are doing, I don't think in a democracy that is possible.
Can I answer them? ഞാനൊരു ഉദാഹരണം തരട്ടെ, ഒരു കൗണ്ടർ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ. ചില വീട്ടുകളിലൊക്കെ ഈ ഡ്രഗ്സ് ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്ന പിള്ളേരുണ്ട്, ഇല്ലേ? അപ്പോൾ അവരുടെ വീട്ടിൽ ഡ്രഗ്സ് ഉള്ളത് കൊണ്ട് നമ്മളുടെ വീട്ടിൽ ഡ്രഗ്സ് വെക്കണം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഒരു ന്യായമായ ഒരു താരതമ്യമല്ല. സി, ദേ ആർ ഹൈ ഓൺ ദാറ്റ് ഡ്രഗ്, വി ആർ ഡിഫറെൻറ്റ്. പാകിസ്ഥാൻ അധപ്പതിക്കുന്ന ഒരു രാജ്യമാണ്, നമ്മൾ മുന്നോട്ട് പോകുന്ന രാജ്യമാണ്. ഇക്വേറ്റ് നമ്മളുടെ ഐഡിയോളജിയുടെ ഡിഫറൻസ് കൊണ്ടാണ് നമ്മൾ വ്യത്യാസം. പാകിസ്ഥാൻ വാസ് ബോൺ എ തിയോക്രാറ്റിക് സ്റ്റേറ്റ്. എനി കൺട്രി വിച്ച് ഈസ് തിയോക്രാറ്റിക്, റിലീജിയൻ വെച്ച് പോയാൽ
മിലിറ്ററി സ്ട്രെങ്ത്, മിലിറ്ററി കൊല്യൂഷൻ.
മിലിറ്ററി ഹാസ് ടേക്കൺ ഓവർ തിയോക്രസി, തിയോക്രസി ഹാസ് ടേക്കൺ ഓവർ മിലിറ്ററി ഇറാനിൽ. സോ അങ്ങനത്തെ രാജ്യത്തിന് പുരോഗതി ഇല്ല. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ, ഇഫ് യു വാണ്ട് ടു റെസിൽ വിത്ത് പിഗ്സ്, യു ഹാവ് ടു ഗോ ടു ദ മഡ്. അതായത് പന്നിയുമായിട്ട് നമ്മൾ ഗുസ്തി പിടിക്കണമെങ്കിൽ ചെളിക്കകത്ത് പോകണം. ചെളി പോകണോ വേണ്ട നമ്മൾ തീരുമാനിക്കണം. ദർ ആർ മെനി വേസ് ഓഫ് ഹാൻഡ്ലിങ് എ പിഗ് ഇൻ ദ ചെളി. സോ വി വിൽ ഡു ദാറ്റ്. ഐ ഹോപ്പ് തന്ന ഉത്തരം ഇഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടെന്ന് മനസ്സിലായില്ല. പക്ഷേ ഒരു ദിവസം പോയി പാകിസ്ഥാനെ അടിച്ച് തീർത്ത് പാകിസ്ഥാൻ്റെ ലാൻഡില്ലാതാകത്തില്ലല്ലോ. എത്ര പാകിസ്ഥാനികളെ കൊല്ലും? നമുക്ക് മൊത്തം പോയി എല്ലാവരെയും കൊന്ന് ഇത് നമ്മുടെയാണെന്ന് പറയാൻ ഒക്കുമോ? ഇല്ല. We live in a modern world where we are human beings. Sapiens have evolved. We are no more primitive ape-like. നമുക്ക് ഒരു സഭ്യതയുണ്ട്, അവർക്ക് വേറൊരു സഭ്യതയുണ്ട്. രണ്ടും തമ്മിൽ ഒരു മാച്ചും ഇല്ല. അപ്പം അങ്ങനെ കമ്പയർ ചെയ്യണ്ട എന്നെനിക്ക് റിക്വസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ ഒക്കത്തുള്ളൂ.
നെക്സ്റ്റ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ. കൺവിക്ഷൻ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടാണ്. We can never have a true conviction on this matter, but we appreciate the point. അതാണ് ആർഗ്യുമെന്റ് ഇല്ല. സോറി സർ.
പ്ലീസ് വൺ മോർ തിങ്. നമ്മുടെ അയൽക്കാരൻ വളരെ മോശമായി ജീവിക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ അവന് ഡ്രഗ്സ് ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നതായിരിക്കും, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഏതെങ്കിലും മോശപ്പെട്ട രീതിയിൽ പോകുന്നവനായിരിക്കും. പക്ഷേ നമ്മൾ അവനെ കൂടി മുന്നോട്ട് കൊണ്ടുവരേണ്ടത് നമ്മുടെ അത്യാവശ്യമല്ലേ? എന്തെങ്കിലും നമ്മുടെ എക്കണോമി, നമ്മുടെ ചിന്താഗതി, നമ്മുടെ കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ വീണ്ടും ഡെവലപ്പ് ചെയ്ത് വരത്തുള്ളൂ. അപ്പോൾ ആ ഒരു ചിന്താഗതി നമുക്ക് വേണ്ടേ? ഒന്നുകിൽ അവൻ നശിക്കണം, അവനെ എന്നേക്കുമായിട്ട് കൊന്നുകളയണം, അതല്ലെങ്കിൽ അവനെ നമ്മൾ മുന്നോട്ട് കൊണ്ടുവരണം. അതല്ലേ നമ്മൾ മോട്ടിവേറ്റ് ചെയ്യണം.
താങ്കളുടെ പേരെന്തായിരുന്നു? ബിനു.
എൻ്റെ പേര് വിക്രമൻ പിള്ള എന്നാണ്.
വിക്രമന് നെയ്ബർ ഉണ്ടല്ലോ, വിക്രമിലേക്ക് വീട്ടിനടുത്ത് നെയ്ബർ ഉണ്ടല്ലോ. എന്തെങ്കിലും പ്രശ്നം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ദയവ് ഇത് ഉപയോഗിക്കരുത്, കാരണം അത് പ്രശ്നമാകും. സിവിലൈസ് സൊസൈറ്റിയിൽ യു ഹാവ് ടു ലിവ് വിത്ത് your neighbors. Right.
Absolutely. It's not black and white.
പേര് പറഞ്ഞല്ലോ.
Yes, sir. My name is Laiju Cherian. ഞാൻ എറണാകുളത്ത് നിന്നുള്ള ആളാണ്. It was very interesting discussion. Thank you for so much of inputs. നമ്മൾ മിലിറ്ററിലി ജയിച്ചു എന്നുള്ളത് സാർ പറയുകയുണ്ടായി. അത് ആസ് എൻ ഇന്ത്യൻ ഐ എം പ്രൗഡ് ഓഫ് ഇറ്റ്. നമുക്കൊരു മിലിറ്ററി അഡ്വാൻസ്മെൻറ്റും അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ജയം ഉണ്ടായി എന്നുള്ളത് വസ്തുതയാണ്. പക്ഷേ എത്രത്തോളം നമ്മൾ ജയിച്ചു എന്നുള്ളത് എൻ്റെ ഒരു വീക്ഷണത്തിലൂടെ നോക്കുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഈ പഹൽഗാമിലെ ടെററിസ്റ്റിനെ അവരെ നമ്മൾക്ക് പിടിക്കാൻ പറ്റിയോ? അവരെവിടെയാണ്? അവർക്ക് എന്ത് സംഭവിച്ചു? അവർ നമ്മുടെ നാട്ടിൽ കടന്നു വന്ന് ആക്രമണം നടത്തി തിരികെ പോയി. അവരെവിടെയാണ്, എന്ത് സംഭവിച്ചു എന്നുള്ളതിനെക്കുറിച്ച് എൻ്റെ അറിവിൽ ഇതൊരു എത്തിയിട്ടില്ല. അങ്ങനെ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു അറിവ് പറയാനായിട്ട് പറ്റുമോ?
എൻ്റെ അറിവിൽ ഇല്ല കേട്ടോ.
അപ്പം നമ്മൾ എവിടെയാണ് ജയിച്ചു എന്ന് പറയാൻ പറ്റില്ല.
പിടിച്ചിട്ടില്ല.
ഇല്ല, അത് പറഞ്ഞു. എൻ്റെ അറിവിലും അങ്ങനെ എവിടെ പിടിച്ചു എന്ന് അറിയാൻ വയ്യ. ഇന്നും അവരെ പിടിച്ചിട്ടില്ല. 2 ദിവസം മുമ്പ് JNKയുടെ ലഫ്റ്റനന്റ് ഗവർണറിൻ്റെ ഒരു ക്യാപ്ഷൻ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു, വി നോ വേർ ദ ടെററിസ്റ്റ് ആർ, ദെയർ എൻഡ് ഈസ് വെരി ക്ലോസ്. ഒരു കാര്യം കൂടെ പറഞ്ഞോട്ടെ. ഞാൻ ഷെരീഫാബാദ് എന്ന സ്ഥലത്ത് ശ്രീനഗറിനടുത്ത് കൗണ്ടർ ഇൻസർജൻസി ഫോഴ്സിൽ 1 വർഷം ജോലി ചെയ്തതാണ്. ഒരു ടെററിസ്റ്റിൻ്റെ ഷെൽഫ് ലൈഫ് നോട്ട് മോർ ദാൻ 1 year. ടെററിസ്റ്റ് ആയിക്കഴിഞ്ഞ് നോട്ട് മോർ ദാൻ 1 year പിടിച്ച് പോയാൽ 2 വർഷം. സോ നമ്മൾ വെടിവെക്കും, അവർ ചാകും, പിന്നെയും വരും, നമ്മൾ പിന്നെയും കൊല്ലും, പിന്നെയും വരും, പിന്നെയും കൊല്ലും. ഈ വന്ന ആളെ കണ്ടുപിടിക്കാൻ സമയമെടുക്കും. ഒരു പക്ഷേ അവൻ ഓൾറെഡി കൊന്നു കാണും. വി വുഡ് ഹാവ് കിൽഡ്, വി വുഡ് ഹാവ് നോൺ ദീസ് ആർ ദ സെയിം ടെററിസ്റ്റ് ഹൂസ് ബീൻ ദേർ. ഇത് സമയമെടുക്കും. യെസ്, ഇതൊക്കെ നമ്മളുടെ വൈകാരികമായ പ്രശ്നങ്ങളാണ്, മനസ്സിലായില്ലേ? ഈ പൊളിറ്റിക്സും ഡിപ്ലോമസിയൊക്കെ വരുമ്പം വൈകാരമല്ല, വിവേകമാണ്. ഇറ്റ് ടേക്സ് ടൈം.
എൻ്റെ പേര് ചന്ദ്രശേഖരൻ.
Sir, there's a lady here. The lady takes precedence. Yeah.
പറയൂട്ടെ.
Yes. Just wanted to, my name is Lizzie Julius. I'm a technical consultant in GIIMS. From students' perspective, because they are new, I just wanted to ask on their behalf as to what logistical issues when we take such major operations like Operation Sindhur that we face. If you have some examples from your experience, just for their enlightenment.
This kills the entire army logistics actually. Every operation is to be planned from thought to fought in every aspect. ഇവിടെ ഞങ്ങളെ ഇൻവൈറ്റ് ചെയ്തപ്പം മിസ് റിനി ജോർജ് did an amazing job of making the bridge, first establishing a bridgehead, right sir? Yep. Then maintaining contact and ensuring that we are here in time through all her staff and this thing. That is logistics. It's a huge chain of things which cannot be explained over. അതായത് മനുഷ്യർ വേണം, ടെക്നോളജി വേണം, എക്യുപ്മെൻറ്റ്സ് വേണം, ആർമമെൻ്റ് വേണം,
റിസോഴ്സ് വേണം,
ഇൻ്റലിജൻസ് വേണം, റിസോഴ്സ് വേണം. ഇതെല്ലാം കറക്റ്റ് സമയത്ത് സിങ്ക്രണൈസ് ചെയ്ത് പോയിൻ്റ് ഓഫ് ഇമ്പാക്റ്റിൽ കൊണ്ടുവന്ന് റിക്വയർഡ് ഡിസ്ട്രക്ഷൻ ആൻഡ് ഔട്ട്കം വരുത്തുന്നതാണ്. നിങ്ങൾ പഠിക്കുമ്പം ലോജിസ്റ്റിക്സിൽ 1 ദിവസം വന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു തരാം. ഇപ്പം ഇറ്റ്സ് എ ഹ്യൂജ് ചെയിൻ. അമിനേഷൻ പോകുന്നത് ഒരു മിസൈല് ലോഞ്ച് ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ അതിനെ ഫ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് ഒരിടത്തല്ല വെച്ചിട്ടുള്ളത്, പലയിടത്താണ്. അതിനെ കൊണ്ടുവന്ന് ഫ്യൂസ് ചെയ്ത് ലോഞ്ച് പാഡിൽ എത്തിക്കുന്നത് സീക്രട്ടായിട്ട്. ഇറ്റ്സ് എൻ അമേസിങ് ബണ്ടിൽ ഓഫ് logistics and brains. So there's a tremendous perspective to discuss. Too short. I hope you won't mind.
Yes, sir. It's from the students' perspective that we wanted.
Sir, you had a question.
Sir,
you had a question. Yeah, yes, you. Sorry.
എല്ലാവർക്കും പട്ടാളത്തിനെ പറ്റി അറിയണ്ട, ഡിപ്ലോമസിയെ പറ്റി
സാർ, ഞാൻ തൃശ്ശൂരിൽ നിന്നാണ് വരുന്നത്. എൻ്റെ പേര് ചന്ദ്രശേഖരൻ. എനിക്കൊരു കാര്യം ചോദിക്കാനുള്ളത്, ഇപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ വന്ന ഒരാൾ പറഞ്ഞത് യുദ്ധം ശത്രുവിനെ തീർത്ത് കളയണമെന്നാണ്. പക്ഷേ നമ്മളെല്ലാവരും സന്തോഷിച്ചൊരു സമയമുണ്ട്, ട്രംപ് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടാന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ് ഇറാനിലെ ഇസ്രായേലുമായിട്ടുള്ള യുദ്ധം പൊടുന്നനെ നിർത്തി. എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു കേരളീയർ മുഴുവൻ മനസമാധാനത്തോടുകൂടി ഉറങ്ങിയ ദിവസമായിരിക്കാം. കാരണം ഇവിടെ ഇരിക്കുന്നവരുടെ പലരും ബന്ധുക്കളെല്ലാവരും പുറത്തുള്ളവരാണ്, സന്തോഷിച്ചതാണ്. യുദ്ധം നല്ലതിനല്ല എന്ന് അതൊരിക്കലും നമുക്ക് സമാധാനം തരില്ല. കുട്ടികളും സ്ത്രീകളുമാണ് ഈ ഇന്ത്യയിലെ നാട്ടുരാജ്യങ്ങൾ തമ്മിലുള്ള യുദ്ധം നടന്നപ്പോൾ പോലും അതിൽ മരിച്ചുപോയത് സ്ത്രീകളും കുട്ടികളും മാത്രമാണ് ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ ആക്രമിക്കപ്പെട്ടത്. അപ്പോൾ യുദ്ധം ഒന്നിനും ശാശ്വത പരിഹാരമല്ല. ചർച്ച ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടും സമാധാനത്തിലൂടെ, അതുകൊണ്ട് നെഹ്റുവിൻ്റെ ആ ആറ്റിറ്റ്യൂഡ് ഏറ്റവും നല്ലതായിരുന്നു എന്ന് വിശ്വസിക്കുന്ന ആളാണ് ഞാൻ. പക്ഷേ ഇന്നത്തെ കാലത്ത് അങ്ങനെ ആരും അതിനെ സത്യസന്ധമായി സമീപിക്കുന്നില്ല എന്നുള്ളൊരു വിഷയമുണ്ട്. അതുപോലെ തന്നെയാണ് ഇന്ത്യയിലും യുദ്ധം നിന്നത് നന്നായി. പക്ഷേ ശത്രുവിന് ആ പുറത്ത് നമ്മൾ പ്രകടിപ്പിച്ച മികവ്, നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞ കുറ്റവാളികളെ, പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട പഹൽഗാമിലെ കുറ്റവാളികളുടെ സ്പോട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നതിൽ നമുക്ക് വേണ്ടത്ര വിജയിക്കാൻ, പക്ഷേ സാറ് പറഞ്ഞു അതിന് സമയമെടുക്കുമെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു. ഓക്കെ, പക്ഷേ എന്നെ അത്ഭുതപ്പെടുത്തിയ ഒരു കാര്യം, ഇവിടെ ഇത്രയും പ്രൊഫഷണൽസ് ആവാൻ പോകുന്ന കുട്ടികളെയും അതുപോലെ തന്നെ അത് പഠിപ്പിക്കുന്ന അധ്യാപകരും ഇവിടെ വന്നിട്ടുള്ള രക്ഷിതാക്കളുടെയൊക്കെ ഈ ഒരു ഇനോഗ്രേഷൻ സമയത്ത് ഈ ഒരു സബ്ജക്റ്റ് എടുക്കാൻ കാണിച്ച ധൈര്യത്തെ, ഇവിടെ ചർച്ച ചെയ്യാനെടുത്ത ധൈര്യത്തെ ഇതിൻ്റെ സംഘാടകർക്ക് ഏറ്റവും നല്ല രീതിയിൽ അഭിനന്ദിക്കുന്നു. ഏറ്റവും മനസ്സിൽ കൊണ്ടു നടക്കുന്ന പലരുടെയും വിഷമം ഇവിടെ തുറന്ന് പ്രകടിപ്പിക്കാനും സത്യസന്ധമായി വിഷയം ഇവിടെ അവതരിപ്പിക്കാനും കഴിഞ്ഞ 3 പേർക്കും പ്രത്യേകം നന്ദി തൃശ്ശൂരിന് വേണ്ടി പറയുന്നു, കേരളത്തിന് വേണ്ടി.
താങ്ക് യു വെരി മച്ച്.
That doesn't need an answer. Except thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. I'm Thomas George, soft skills trainer with GIIMS since 2015 when they started. My question is to the general. You said you're part of a startup. Now just reading, where do we stand in defense production in logistics field, in the sense, I just read that the change from 2.5% to 5% in the European Union defense budget had a strange thing. Some the German Navy wanted some ship. Immediately the stock price of the Cochin shipyard went up. It is very surprising. So do we stand a chance, because a lot of this will be supplied by America? So will we have a chance?
Sorry, question.
I didn't get it.
What is the question? I didn't understand.
No, why don't you repeat it?
Why don't you just repeat? Just ask me the specific question. പ്രായമായി ഈ ഒത്തിരി എക്സ്പ്ലോസീവ്സ് കേട്ട് കേൾവിക്കുറവുണ്ട്. കണ്ണും ശരിക്കും ലൈറ്റ് വരുമ്പോൾ അതും കാണാൻ വയ്യ. സോ അതാ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞത്, ഒന്നുകൂടെ ഒന്ന് ഉറക്കെ പറഞ്ഞാൽ.
എനിക്കും പ്രായമായി 65 years ആയി.
I'm just about that.
The question is, are we prepared to take on this defense supply chain? Like the Operation Sindhur, I believe, has created a 4,000 crore opportunity for drones in India. So like that global supply, are we ready for that?
ഇല്ല, ആക്ച്വലി ഞങ്ങളുടെ പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഒരു റിവേഴ്സ് ട്രാൻസ്ഫർ ടെക്നോളജി കൂടെ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് കിട്ടിയതാണ്. അതിൻ്റെ ദി ബ്രെയിൻ ഇത് ആക്ച്വലി ഒറിജിനലി സോൾഡ് ടു യൂറോപ്യൻ കൺട്രീസ്. ദി ബ്രെയിൻ ഈസ് ഫ്രം കൊച്ചിൻ. A company called DC Technology makes the motherboard. Entire design and development has been done here in Cochin. So we took a TOT and get the item from there. The scope of volume is very less. Each piece is about 8 lakhs. And one unit ഒന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അത് ആ ഒരു 2 കിലോമീറ്റർ ദൂരം രാത്രി നല്ല ക്രിസ്റ്റൽ ക്ലിയർ മോഹവും ഒക്കെ കാണാം. So we have, my equipment is mostly with commandos. So they take on shots. I don't know, we can't sell it outside. But we are into R&D, we are trying to diversify our products. Let us see if we can come out with something. I hope I have heard your question correct and I have answered you. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇത് കഴിഞ്ഞ് നമുക്ക് കാണാം.
Okay,
no, he's generally emphasizing the need for more defense production. That is his point.
We need.
But there, of course, we are increasing, our defense expenditure has been increasing. And that also is watched by the world. This defense expenditure increasing is also negative from international point of view. So we have to be watchful about that also.
We have time for one last question. Yes, sir. There.
സാർ, എൻ്റെ പേര് അഭിജിത്ത്. ഞാൻ കൊല്ലത്തു നിന്നാണ് വരുന്നത്. അപ്പം ഇവിടെ ചോദിച്ച കുറേ ചോദ്യങ്ങളിടയ്ക്ക് ഒരു ചോദ്യം വന്നായിരുന്നു. രണ്ട് രാജ്യങ്ങൾ തമ്മിൽ യുദ്ധം ഉണ്ടാകുമ്പോൾ ഒരു രാജ്യം ജയിക്കുന്നു എന്നുള്ള രീതിയിലുള്ള പറച്ചില്. ഒരു യുദ്ധം ഉണ്ടാകുമ്പോൾ സ്വാഭാവികമായിട്ടും രണ്ട് രാജ്യത്തിന് നഷ്ടം മാത്രമേ അവിടെ ഉണ്ടാകുന്നുള്ളൂ. അപ്പം അങ്ങനെയുള്ളപ്പോൾ അവിടെ ഒരാൾ ജയിച്ചു എന്നും ഒരാൾ തോറ്റു നമുക്ക് എങ്ങനെ പറയാൻ പറ്റും? വാറിൽ ശരിക്കും ജയിക്കുന്ന ആൾക്കാരുണ്ടോ?
പറയുന്നില്ലല്ലോ ജയിക്കുന്നു.
അല്ല, ഇവിടെ ഒരു ചോദ്യം.
Nobody wins a war.
Exactly.
Everybody suffers.
അത് ഇവിടെ മുമ്പേ ഒരു ചോദ്യം.
ഞാൻ ആ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യന് വേറെ രീതി പറഞ്ഞോട്ടെ. ഈ യുദ്ധത്തിന് പോകുന്നത് ഡിപ്ലോമസിയുടെ ലാസ്റ്റ് സ്റ്റെപ്പാണ്. അതായത് നമ്മൾ നല്ല വർത്തമാനം പറഞ്ഞു, സാമം, ദണ്ഡം. സോ ഇതെല്ലാം മൂന്നും കഴിഞ്ഞ് അവസാനമാണ് ദണ്ഡക്കാരനെ കൊണ്ടുവരുന്നത് തല്ലാൻ വേണ്ടി. അപ്പം തല്ലുമ്പോൾ കൊള്ളുന്നതാണ്, കിട്ടിയില്ല എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ അർത്ഥമില്ലല്ലോ. അപ്പം ബാക്കി എല്ലാം പോയി കഴിഞ്ഞ് തല്ലേണ്ടി വരുമ്പോൾ മാത്രമാണ് തല്ലാനുള്ള ഗുണ്ടകളെ കൊണ്ടുവരുന്നത്. സോ വി കം ആൻഡ് തല്ല് ഇൻ ദി എൻഡ്. പക്ഷെ തല്ലി കഴിയുമ്പം ഈ തല്ല് കൊണ്ടുപോയി തട്ടിയിട്ട് പോയി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ തല്ലിന് അർത്ഥമില്ലല്ലോ, അടി കൊള്ളണം.
നിർത്തണമെന്നുള്ളതും അത്
കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് എപ്പം നിർത്തണം. ഇപ്പോൾ ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ ഇപ്പം നടന്ന യുദ്ധത്തിൽ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ യുദ്ധം എന്ന് ഞാൻ പറയുന്നത് ഓപ്പറേഷനിൽ, ഒരു സിവിലിയൻ ടാർഗറ്റോ ഒരു മിലിറ്ററി ടാർഗറ്റോ ഒരു സ്കൂളോ ഒന്നും ഇന്ത്യ അറ്റാക്ക് ചെയ്തില്ല. ഇന്ത്യ അറ്റാക്ക് ചെയ്തത് കേവലം ടെററിസ്റ്റ് ഹെഡ്ക്വാർട്ടർ, അതും പാകിസ്ഥാൻ ആർമി ഹെഡ്ക്വാർട്ടറിൻ്റെ തൊട്ട് ഓപ്പോസിറ്റുള്ള ബിൽഡിങ്ങാണ് ബോംബിട്ടത്. പാകിസ്ഥാൻ ആർമിയുടെ ഹെഡ്ക്വാർട്ടറിൽ ബോംബിട്ടില്ല, കറക്റ്റ് പിൻ പ്രിസിഷൻ കൊണ്ടിട്ടത്. അപ്പം ജയിച്ചു എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് വൈകാരികമായിട്ടോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സ്പിരിച്വലി റോങ് ആണെങ്കിൽ ഒബ്ജക്റ്റീവ് അച്ചീവ്, മിഷൻ അക്കംപ്ലിഷൻ പറഞ്ഞാൽ കുഴപ്പമില്ലല്ലോ.
That's a better way. നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ലക്ഷ്യത്തിന് വേണ്ടിയാണോ പോയെ ആ ലക്ഷ്യം കൈവരിച്ചു.
ടെറിട്ടോറിയൽ ആംബിഷൻ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ല.
ഇല്ല, അതെ, ടെറിട്ടോറിയൽ ആംബിഷൻ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ല.
വെഞ്ചിയൻസ്. What they did, it was Operation Sindhur. Because they removed the Sindhurs of
അതിന്റെ പേര് തന്നെ ഓപ്പറേഷൻ സിന്ദൂർ എന്നാണ്. എൻ്റെ സഹോദരി അല്ലെങ്കിൽ എൻ്റെ ഒരമ്മ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ എൻ്റെ ഒരു ബ്രദറിൻ്റെ ഭാര്യ വിധവയാകുന്നത് കണ്ട് കയ്യും കെട്ടി നിൽക്കുന്നത് ശരിയല്ല എന്ന് തോന്നിയത് കൊണ്ടാണല്ലോ നമ്മളിത് ചെയ്തത്. അപ്പം ലക്ഷ്യം എത്തി, നമ്മൾ ജയിച്ചില്ല,
നിർത്തുകയും ചെയ്തു.
We will conclude now. It is almost 1:20. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ambassador Srinivasan. Thank you very much, General Jacob, for a wonderful discussion. I now hand the floor back to the MC.
What a blessed and insightful day it has been. Let us all give a standing ovation to all our three esteemed panelists for sharing their expertise with us. They truly deserve that. Thank you so much, sir, for your time and for your expertise sharing. Please take your seats. As we conclude a truly enriching panel discussion, let's take a moment to honor our panelists. I invite Mr. S.S. Regit, CEO of GIIMS, Mr. Matthew Abraham, COO of GIIMS, to do the honors. I invite Mr. S.S. Regit to kindly present the memento and a special token of appreciation to Mr. T.P. Srinivasan, IFS, as a token of our heartfelt appreciation for sharing his insights and enriching today's panel discussion with his wisdom and experience. Let's give a huge round of applause. Mr. Matthew Abraham to present the memento and a special gift to Major General Jacob Taragan Chako in heartfelt recognition of his impactful presence and the profound insights he shared today. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. Now I invite Mr. S.S. Regit, CEO of GIIMS, to kindly present a token of appreciation to Dr. K.N. Raghavan, IRS, in appreciation of his thought-provoking perspective and distinguished presence. May I now request all the dignitaries on stage to kindly come together for a group photo session. Thank you all. I request Mr. S.S. Regit, CEO, and Mr. Matthew Abrahams to stay on the stage. We have some more awards to be given. We now take a moment to recognize two individuals whose valuable contributions have played a significant role in strengthening our academic and industry linkages. May I kindly invite Professor S. Ganeshan, Head of Education Initiatives at the Logistics Sector Skill Council, to accept a memento as a token of our sincere appreciation for his support and commitment to skill development in the logistics sector. Congratulations, sir. I request Mr. S.S. Regit to hand over the memento to Professor S. Ganeshan. I request Ms. Gayatri Harish, Head of Skilling and Academic Linkages, to accept a memento in gratitude for her continued efforts in bridging the gap between academia and industry. Your contributions are truly valued and respected, ma'am. Congratulations. Now, let's take a special moment to celebrate those who have gone above and beyond. It's time to disclose the best employee of the year 2025. Any guesses? this year, we are proud to announce not one but two recipients of this prestigious award. So our first Best Employee Award goes to Ms. Jaya KG, DGM Academics and Administration. Ms. Jaya has been a key pillar in driving operational excellence across the organization. Her significant contribution in streamlining administrative process and her proactive involvement in business development initiatives have played a crucial role. Congratulations, Ms. Jaya KG, for being the Best Employee of the Year 2025 of Global Institute of Integral Management Studies. Our second Best Employee Award is presented to Ms. Krishna Rajiv, General Manager, CDCR. Ms. Krishna has demonstrated exceptional leadership in driving placement success, securing opportunities for our students in leading companies such as MSc, DB Shankar, and many more. Additionally, her contribution to business development have helped expand our network. Congratulations, Ms. Krishna Rajiv, for your relentless drive and remarkable achievements. Thank you all. Okay, we have another award also for the significant contribution done in GIIMS. I invite Mr. S.S. Srijit, sir.
It's the anchor, Shilpa Gobinathan.
Thank you all. Moving forward, may I now request Ms. Haripriya, Dean and Head of the Department of GIIMS, to deliver the vote of thanks as we're approaching the concluding moment.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a true privilege to stand before you and deliver the vote of thanks on this important occasion, the inauguration of 21st batch in Logistics and Supply Chain Management at GIIMS Cochin. Alongside the impactful panel session, Leadership in Action, Operation Sindhur, as a part of our ongoing 10th anniversary celebration series. Let me begin by extending my sincere gratitude to the GIIMS management team, our CEO, Mr. S.S. Srijit, our COO, Mr. Matthew Abraham, and our CIO, Mr. Tom Jose, for their visionary leadership and consistent support. Your united commitment on shaping industry-ready professionals has made GIIMS a trusted name in logistics education. We are deeply honored by the virtual presence of Mr. Gary Jacobs, President and CEO of World Academy Arts and Science, our Chairman GIIMS and CEO of World University Consortium. So thank you for joining us online and for your continued global guidance and encouragement. A warm thank you to Ms. Janani Ramanathan, Secretary General of VARS, Director of World University Consortium, and our advisory board member. Your virtual presence and enduring support and immense value to our academic community. And a heartfelt appreciation to Mr. T.P. Srinivasan, IFS, former Ambassador of India and permanent representative to the United Nations, for sharing your insightful thoughts during the panel discussion, sir. Your reflections on diplomacy and leadership in action were truly inspiring. We are also deeply thankful to Major General Jacob Tharagan, a respected military leader and a strategic affairs expert, for your compelling and insightful contribution to today's discussion. Your experience in real-world leadership and operational strategy made Operation Sindhur a powerful and a memorable episode. A special thanks to Dr. K.N. Raghavan ISR, a retired Chief Commissioner of Customs and GST and a former Director General of NIA-CIN. Sir, thank you for your thoughtful approach, kept the discussion focused, rich and engaging. We also recognize Professor S. Ganeshan, Head of Education Initiative at the Logistics Sector Skill Council, for your constant support in aligning our programs with the national and industry goals, sir. To our Director, Ms. Rini George, thank you for setting the tone today with your thoughtful interaction to the Leadership in Action series and for your continued guidance. A special mention and sincere appreciation to our Associate HOD, Ms. Shilpa Gopinathan, who anchored today's program with poise and professionalism. Thank you for steering the event so smoothly and keeping the audience engaged throughout. To all our faculty members, in-house and guest staff, technical team and organizing committee, thank you for the organizing committee, those who are behind the scene who worked tirelessly. And a special thanks to our media associate, especially Malayalam Panorama, for covering our program and taking it in a larger audience. Finally, my dear students, welcome to GIIMS family. What a learning we had today from all these eminent personalities. You are welcome to GIIMS campus and welcome to the vibrant learning environment. We look forward to see you as a growing leaders in logistics. Thank you all once again.
Thank you, Ms. Haripriya, for your kind words. So today we have witnessed a dawn of a new journey, the new journey of our 21st batch of Global Institute of Integral Management Studies in Logistics and Supply Chain Management. As our students, you step forward. May the spirit of force, focus, optimism, resilience, commitment, and excellence be more than words. So let's all rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Please be seated. We have certain important announcements to be made. We are delighted to inform you that we have arranged a sumptuous lunch for all our esteemed guests. An important announcement regarding the admission formalities and document submission. Our administration team is fully equipped and dedicated to assist you. For fee-related information and assistance, kindly visit the accounts department. And also, both the hostel desk and accounts desk are open and ready to support you. Also, as a gesture of convenience and care for all our esteemed guests, we have arranged transportation facilities to drop to you to the GIIMS campus. And additional information, tomorrow onwards, we are starting our orientation sessions, and the timing for the sessions will be from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. I repeat, tomorrow onwards, we are starting our orientation session. So the students are supposed to report to the campus by 9:45 a.m. We'll start the session exactly at 10 till 12:30.